really special moment, something I've definitely been waiting for my whole life. That's a big reason why it was so special, and I think part of the reason why my mom was so pumped up out there too. It was just a surreal moment for sure.
It's the Orioles on Masson, and the important series against the Red Sox continues. This is Game 3, as the Red Sox have taken the first two by identical scores of 5-2. And here we are out on Utah Street. And where would you be on Utah Street? At Boog's Barbecue. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and welcome. Boog is going to join us in a moment. First, we're going to talk about the Orioles. This is the last day of summer, and for the Orioles, they hope that the playoff hopes don't go the way of the summer season. In order to preserve those, though, they have got to come up with some wins, and right now, 11 games left to be played on the season. They have lived and died by the home run. Last couple of ball games, the home run has been there, but not the wins. Let's go to Game 1. It was late in the ball game, and the game was all but over. It was Adam Jones, number 28, a solo shot. But the final score of that ball game would be 5-2. Game 2, home run again. This time, Trey Mancini. This would be his second at bat. It would be his major league first, an exciting moment. But again, it was a solo shot. Final score, 5-2. Just not enough. Take a look at the numbers. This is since the All-Star break for the Orioles. Look at the bottom. Their record is 31-33, but how have they done that? They are 11th in runs, 12th in OPS, dead last in the American League in batting average since the All-Star break, and the team ERA, despite some pretty good starts, is 13th at 4.4. The home runs are number one, but Jim Palmer, thou shalt not live by home runs alone.
No, especially in this series, the Red Sox, they've gotten the big hit. They've hit 4 home runs. The Orioles, as you mentioned, have hit the 2 solos. So, you know, I think back. I mean, we're out here at Boog's. A lot of people, I think, the modern Oriole fans said, well, boy, he makes a really good barbecue beef sandwich. He does. But let's go back to 1969. Boog would finish second in the MVP that year. But we went to the division series. We won 109 games. We're playing the Twins. We're down 3-1. 2 outs in the 9th, and guess who steps up with a man on and 2 outs and hits a home run off Jim Perry. So,
guess
anyway,
who steps up? Hello,
so with that in mind, folks, what the Orioles need to do, and Boog just made a pretty good point. Not only did he need to get the clutch hit like he did off Jim Perry in Game 1 of that division playoff game,
you got to get there.
He also, yes, and also you got to get some guys on. So hopefully the Orioles will be better offensively. 5 runs in the first half, 4 runs a game. The last 4 games, 2 runs, and they need to do better again.
Boog, what do you see out there in the field right now?
Well, it looks like everybody's trying to hit a 5-run homer, and there isn't a such thing as a 5-run homer. You know, you've got to get some guys on. You got to play little ball, and then let the big guys hit some 2- and 3-run homers, and then, you know, that way you get something going. But, you know, right now the way it is, you know, hit a home run, you know, hit a 1-run homer late in the game, and it doesn't mean anything, you know. So
you were the ball club that could do all of that, weren't you? I mean, it wasn't just home run.
Yeah, we had a great time. We could do. We sent Jimmy out there and said, "Jimmy, you're out there. You're not coming back
until you're done."
That's right, until you're done. But we had a great time. We had a good ball club, and I look back on those days, and I'm out here every day, and I see people coming in here every day, and they ask me about it. And they said, "Can you still hit?" And I said, "Yeah, I can still hit. You want to run for me?" You know, and I said, and if we do it right, you know, you can walk. If I do it right, you can walk.
So here's a novel idea. We're going to have a designated runner. And then we're all in.
Hey, if it gets you runs, anything that works. Boog, it's always great to see you. How you doing out here? How's the barbecue?
How does it feel to you? Does it feel a little toasty?
It is a little toasty, but that's part of your business, isn't it?
We're doing great.
Right. We love the sandwiches.
Thank you. And
Jimmy, I do apologize for Jimmy begging 2 nights in a row to bring sandwiches up to the booth. I have to apologize for that. That was a little much.
How many times do I have to bring up your 339 lifetime?
He keeps talking about it, waiting for sandwiches.
All you got to do is get word to me, and I can get you a couple of sandwiches.
We need a couple of sandwiches.
Okay, all right.
Okay, Boog, we thank you very much. All right, we've got baseball coming up when we come back. Game 3, first pitch. We'll take a look at the lineups. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by First National Bank, redefining convenience in banking. Another beautiful evening here at Camden Yards for Game 3 of this 4-game set. And last night was a beautiful evening for Trey Mancini, the 4th player in Orioles history to have a home run in either his first or second career plate appearance. Buster Narum, 1963, did it in his first. Then Larry Haney in '66. Jose Morban in 2003 did it in their second, as did Mancini, with, of course, his mom on hand to celebrate it. It was just a magnificent night for him. He will not be in the lineup tonight. They wanted that pop of the bat in there against the left-hander, and it worked out absolutely perfectly. Take a look at our BGE home game time temperature, 79 degrees, humidity down a little bit, very little breeze here at the ballpark again, and a few clouds up there floating around. BGE home, Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? Here's the lineup for the Red Sox. Changed again. Pedroia's back in, didn't play last night. Bogarts, Ortiz, Betts, Shaw, Hill is in at third base. Jackie Bradley Jr., Leone, and Benintendi playing in his second of the 3 games. For David Ortiz, continues to pump up those career numbers here in this ballpark.
And take a look at Ubaldo Jimenez. So fastball's a 2-seamer, 89 to 91. I don't know if we'll see 91. Did in the last game. A little bit of a curveball, slider. The splitter's his strikeout pitch. So again, really struggled the first half. ERA close to 8 runs a game. That's when he faced the Red Sox. So the numbers aren't particularly good. We'll see how that fares tonight. And again, likes to throw the ball on the ground, even though this year he's about 50-50. I think the big question, Gary, is number one, can he throw enough strikes? Because this is a very, they lead the league in runs and on base percentage. And if the wrong guys gets on, it's going to be a track meet. 24 out of 28. Almost everybody other than Ortiz, potential guy to steal.
And Pedroia is back in the lineup. He will take the first pitch inside for a ball. Pedroia had a 2 for 5 in game 1. That .325 average, 13 home runs. Outstanding average on the road for this ball club. And will foul it back. He's going through the bumps and bruises at the end of the year, so John Farrell wanted to give him a rest in the ball game last night, keep him primed here for the run for the division title. The Red Sox coming in 4 games up on Toronto, 5 games up on the Orioles. 1-1 breaking ball is at the knees for a strike.
Yeah, and when you look at the umpires, I mean, that's the real important thing. What kind is he going to get the low strike? Because better down in the zone, like most pitchers. Jordan Baker, big guy behind the plate, but that ball looks like you're going to get something around the knees.
1-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be sent down the line right field into foul territory, and that'll be out of play. Baker historically has been a pretty straight up umpire with the strike zone. If it's in there, you get a called strike, and if it isn't, you don't. And there's not been a distinct advantage for either pitchers or hitters in his career.
Yeah, we saw the low strike called last night, and then again, all you want is consistency. You want to know what it is, and you want to know what it is early. Both hitters and pitchers.
Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way. Pedroia will take it outside. Dustin's had another fine season against the Orioles, hitting .343 against the Orioles. He has a home run, 4 RBIs, multiple hits in 10 of his last 12 games, even with the bangs and bruises. And the pitch taken down low. Yeah, 3-2.
Yeah, it's just amazing with the bat control. We talk about Adam Jones for the Orioles. They moved him after the Houston series earlier in the year. But since the 10th of August, 154 bats, 62 hits, hitting over 400 leading off for the Red Sox.
3-2 delivery to him. Ground ball will go to short. Hardy on a 3-hopper hustles it over. Pedroia is retired.
Now take a look at the Orioles defense. They're every night at this time of year a little bit different. Kim Jones and Trumbo, same as last night. Machado and Hardy, Gold Glovers, Scope, Davis, and then Wieters, Gold Gloves behind the plate.
That'll bring up Xander Bogaerts, hitting in that number 2 spot. Couple of hits, 9 at bats, runs scored in the series. Real good numbers against Ubaldo. He is 7 for 18 off the Oriole right-hander. Jimenez is 0 for 1 in 2 appearances against Boston this year. Lifetime 2 and 5 against the Red Sox. You'll get one in for a strike. Here in this ballpark, he's gone .500 this year, 4-4, high ERA though of 6.27. He's had 13 starts here at Camden Yards this year. Down the line in right and foul.
Yeah, you got to go back to the Washington National game. He loses because Scherzer out pitches him over there, but that's when really the season turned around. You know, he used a breaking ball. All of a sudden, instead of ball one, it was strike one, and then the Orioles over his last 5 starts have scored 28 runs.
Bogarts on a swing and a miss on a great pitch down and in.
Yeah, he's kind of asking Jordan Baker, did I foul it off, and it hit the ground before I caught it. Great splitter right here. This is a success, and it's great movement. So he doesn't, because of the count, have to throw it even close to the zone. Just started at the bottom of the strike zone, let it dive, and it did.
So a chance to get through the first inning. We mentioned so often pitchers who struggle in the first. Jimenez is one of those. He's given up 24 first inning runs on 35 hits. Swung on and fouled off by David Ortiz right into the mitt that time.
It's hard to believe. I don't think there's too many right-handed pitchers. It's only 23 at bats with a couple of home runs, but 130.
3 for 23.
Yeah, Ortiz doesn't. They're fully capable of hitting the long ball, which we've seen.
That ball is hit off a broken bat towards the hole. It'll fall in for a base hit. The bat hadn't broken, it would have been a fly ball out, but it did, and Ortiz picks up a single.
Yeah, you play very deep, and you know, Mark Trumbo, making sure he doesn't play a single into a double. Ortiz already tied right off the end of the bat. Again, he elevates it and comes at it hard. I mean, Scope almost had the same kind of chance as the right fielder.
Pinball player, he'd have been a winner on that one, as he put it right in the only opening area. Here is Mookie Betts. Extended his hit streak to 7 games last night. 4 for 7, another big series, home run, 2 RBIs against the Orioles. Betts will take one down low. He is 7 for 17 off Ubaldo. I'll tell you about those first inning problems for Ubaldo. His ERA in the first inning is 8.4, and teams hit .354 against him. He gets by the first inning, things settle down. 1-0 delivery is taken, and he didn't even move the bat that time. 2-0.
Yeah, the problem if you're pitching against Mookie Betts, number one, he's extremely gifted, tremendous bat speed. But the other thing, the more you see him, you realize he's not going to swing at balls, especially early in the count. Very disciplined for a 23-year-old hitter.
2-0 delivery, swung out and missed. He is the 8th most difficult hitter to strike out in the American League, and that's what Jim's talking about with that patience.
And even there, I mean, that was about as good a slider as you can throw. 2-0. He still aired it out. And there's his hitting instructor, at least one of them, Chili Davis, terrific player in his own right, switch hitting outfielder.
2-1 delivery on the way. Betts here at Camden Yards this year, hitting .516. 8 home runs, 15 RBIs. He's gone 16 for 31 in games in this ballpark this year. He and David Ortiz, as Oriole fans know, have put up the big numbers against the O's. Off speed, a good one. That's on the outside corner, so he comes back on him, and it's 3-2.
Well, Gary, that's pretty much how you have to pitch. You have to pitch backwards because he's a dead red fastball hitter. Not that he can't hit the breaking ball, so he's looking fastball, and this is a slider right on the corner. You can see Matt Wieters.
3-2, runner goes, and he walked in. Did he go? Nope.
Wow. Yeah, that was a splitter that stayed up, and you're kind of hoping that you, even if you don't get the call, that the ball somehow went over the plate. Take a look where the glove is. You know, he holds it right in front of Jordan Baker, and take a look. I mean, it wasn't a great splitter, but Matt Wieters again saying if we're going to get him, it's going to be on the swing. No such thing.
2 on, 2 down. Travis Shaw, first chance goes to the Red Sox to score. They are 2 for 15 in the first 2 games with runners in scoring position. 1 for 5 in game 1 and just 1 for 10 in the ball game last night.
Yeah, getting an idea. I mean, they're scoring 6.64 runs a game, so that's almost 6 in what, 6.5, over a little 6.5 runs in the month of September.
Shaw will foul it away.
When you think about the last 2 games,
actually holding him to 5 is not a bad thing, but that runner in scoring the position number causes that.
Number 1 in the majors as a team. The Red Sox are in these situations. Shaw's never had a hit against Jimenez. 0 for 8. 0-2 delivery, and had him fooled on the speed on that one. He was way out in front, and the count goes to 0-2. Here they are since August 24. 5's enough. Actually, the magic number, of course, should be 4. When they're held to 4 or less, they're 0-10.
Which is a little bit. That's an unusual number.
Yeah.
Obviously, the 16-0. You can lose a couple of those games, but not the Sox. They're red hot. I mean,
they've got a 6-game win streak coming in. They've scored 35 runs during that 6-game run. Their pen relief pitchers .87. And that's going to be a base hit into right field. Ortiz will have to stop at third. Orioles get a benefit there. Ortiz is not going to score from second base on a base hit to right field. They load him up.
Yeah, with him at second, it's almost like hitting a single in Fenway with pretty much any writer. You know, you hit it to left field, and then right here, a little splitter. And Shaw actually goes down, makes a nice play. Again, it's a 2-strike pitch. You don't have to throw it for a strike, and he does, and Shaw hits it. It's probably the only thing that Ortiz hasn't done in 2016. Run the bases well, because he's 40, and like he said many times, it's tough to even get on the field at that age.
As Boog said, you need a designated runner. Here's Aaron Hill. Bases loaded, 2 down. Hill 273 in these situations. He's really done a number in the Orioles in his career. He's a 284 hitter against the Orioles lifetime. 5 for 17 with the bases loaded. And we'll take the pitch, and it goes to 2-0, and Ubaldo's worked himself now into a jam. No place to put him, and falls behind 2-0.
Well, he's always been a kind of a high ball hitter. He's going to get a fastball here. Very surprised if it's anything other than that.
And a swing and a miss at 82.
Now take a look. I mean, you've always talked about Ubaldo, a lot of moving parts. And then right there, it makes a perfect pitch, and it wasn't a fastball. Wrong.
2 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way. Hill will take it inside corner, strike at the knees. He knew it, but he couldn't get the bat to it. 2-2.
I think that 2-0 breaking ball sets up the hole at bat.
That had set up away, but the pitch was perfectly located in. Well, Aaron Hill, 2 ball, 2 strike count, 2 down. Jimenez trying to work out of a bases loaded jam. And outside by a country mile, and a good pickup by Matt Wieters.
Yeah, tried to drop down, Gary. Boy, that's tough to do, especially in the first inning. Because, and the reason I say that is you don't want to try something, a different arm slot when the 2-2, now 3-2.
Look at that pitch count. 27. If he gets out, it won't matter. 3-2 delivery and a ground ball. It's hit very slowly. Manny Machado's got to make a Machado play, and got him. Manny Machado on a slow roller. John Farrell wants to look at it. He's asking the umpire to hold it up. Manny knew he was going to have to gun that, and the defense comes through for the Orioles. No runs, 2 hits. Red Sox leave the bases loaded. Orioles lineup coming up. in the ball game. Take a look at the Orioles lineup, brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Jones, Kim, and Machado, Davis, Trumbo, Alvarez back in, Scope, Wieters, and Hardy. 20 of 21 off right-handers this year for Pedro.
And Clay Buchholz out of Nederland, Texas, 32-year-old right-hander. Well, he's got all the pitches. He's got the fastballs, breaking balls, cutters, changeups, sliders, split changeups, you name it. Against the Orioles years, really struggling 0-2 with an ERA of over 6 runs a game. This year, lifetime 10 wins. And you can see in this ballpark, 59% of the balls put in the air. We'll see how that plays out.
He's had 1 start, 2 relief appearances against the Orioles this season. And Adam Jones will face him to lead it off. Adam 1 for 8, the home run that he got in the series. That's his 1 hit, his 1 RBI. Buchholz begins his night with a pitch that'll be inside for a ball. Buchholz has gone 3-0, ERA 3.5 in his last 5 starts. Looked like he was going to be in the bullpen for the rest of the year. Injuries gave him a chance to get back on the mound. He's taking advantage of it. 1-0 delivered to Jones, the off-speed breaking ball for a strike.
Yeah, the Stephen Wright at the time made an all-star team, lead the team in victories at the time. Pinch ran, hurt his shoulder. Throwing program in Fort Myers, trying to get back before season ends or for the postseason. Busto does get a chance.
1 ball, 1 strike count. And again, throttling back a little bit, changing pace, and a 1 ball, 2 strike count on Adam.
Well, he throws the slider and the cutter, and the average fastball this season, right about major league average, about 92. And then he can throw the curveball in the 70s, so he changes speeds. And
Adam 270 in September, 4 home runs. Buchholz, the 1-2 delivery to him, and that one is going to miss up high. Good news today for the Orioles. Steve Pearce had his surgery today on the tendons that needed to be helped out a little bit. All went well. It'll take 3 or 4 months recovery time. A right flexor mass strain was the injury. 2 ball, 2 strike delivery, and a swing and a miss back to 80.
Yeah, perfect changeup. He kind of throws it as a split finger. I don't know if Adam ever thought he was going to throw it right on the outside corner. You just see him turn it over so it runs a little bit. You think it might be off the plate, and then you realize, hey, I better go out and cover it. Perfect 2-2 pitch. And this is what he can do. He can change speeds. Had Porcello throwing 89 pitches, 65 for strikes. Rodriguez, no hitter going into 6, powering the ball through the zone. Buchholz is different.
Kim will go after the first pitch. Pedroia will backhand it, make a spin, and get an out. 2 down.
Take a look at their defense. Again, Benintendi, he comes up for the minors, A-ball, AA into the big league. Bradley and Betts are Gold Glovers in the outfield. Hill, Bogarts, Pedroia's 1 Gold Glove, Shaw, and then Sandy Leon. Keep talking about the kind of year he's had.
I think Porcello set the stage for these starting pitchers for the Red Sox in this series. We mentioned how he had 5 innings where he threw 4 pitches and got 2 outs. Well, 6 pitches and 2 outs here in the first inning for Clay Buchholz. Buchholz will work to Manny Machado. Manny's not had a hit in this series. 0 for 6, a walk, hit by a pitch, scored a run. 2 down, nobody on. Right-handers deliveries, a floater. 77 up high, 1-0.
Yeah, 4 for 18 lifetime off of Buchholz. Yeah, high ball hitter, and when Buchholz is on his game, he's going to try to just stay out of the middle of the plate and stay down in the zone.
And that's where that one is, but too far down, 2-0. So Manny gets ahead on the count here. Manny's hitting .268 in September, 4 home runs. Machado, the big defensive play early. We'll see how that plays out here in this game, but it's certainly saved at least 1 run in that first inning on the ground ball by Aaron Hill. 2-0 count. See what Buchholz does. Comes in and misses up high with it at 86, 3-0. You already can see the variation Jim was talking about as far as speed's concerned. 80, 82, 84, 86.
What kind of started on it? If you're a band scout for the Red Sox and you saw the Tampa Bay series, Matt Andrees kind of set the tone. And he gave up a couple early runs and then junked it up there very successfully. Really pitched well.
3-0 delivery, a check swing strike.
And then on Sunday, the Orioles would win that game 2-1. So they've scored, what, 2 runs in the last 4 games. And you've had, you've had 4 different pitchers. And even Odorizzi, what does he have? He has that great splitter change. So again, and the Red Sox, obviously their pitching staff, they're all different.
3-1 delivery on the way and a roller. We're going to ask for a tit for tat right here. Play is made by Hill, not nearly as hard as the one Machado had to make. Buchholz retires the side in order, no score. Locations, visit whywait.com.
Yeah, if you've ever pitched, to make a big difference in the middle of the season is monumental. I mean, coaches have to help you. You got to be willing to maybe look at yourself in the mirror and say, what do I need to do? So obviously that's what Baldo did. Ramon Martinez, along with Dave Wallace and Don Cheney's helped him. So all these guys, I mean, be commended. But how about Verlander? He went from actually all right, below the league average, to really good, and that's why the Tigers are in the wild card race. And the Orioles are too, because of injuries. Baldo has made some adjustments, and he's a lot better.
Detroit plays at Minnesota tonight. The Tigers are a game and a half behind in the wild card race. Toronto's playing extra innings in Seattle. They are tied at 1-1. Popped up, Jackie Bradley Jr. Silo shot. Wieters gets there and puts it away. Pitch and an out. Well, the postseason push continues. Final 4 games of the regular season. You're at home. Your last chance to see the Birds here at Camden Yards this year in the regular season. This weekend, Diamondbacks coming in for Fan Appreciation Weekend. So get your tickets at Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Sandy Leon coming up. Encarnacion tied it up in the 9th inning in Seattle with a home run with 1 down. Toronto's had a number of chances in the extra innings, unable to score. Toronto is in second place, 4 games behind Boston. The Orioles 5 games out. Orioles have lost 2 in a row. Toronto's won 2 in a row. Boston's won 6.
Yeah, they were trailing 2-0. Went home and watched the game. Devin Travis, and he had a horrible 3rd inning, and then the next thing you know, 8-run inning for the Jays up in Seattle. They took care of that game.
Yep.
And Happ won his 20th. Yeah, Jay Happ, congratulations. It's not easy ever to win 20 games.
Yep, Happ the second for the American League to go to the 20 mark. Leon in a 0 for 13 hit right now, and he's been big offensive star for them. He's gone 0 for 8 in this series. Not had a hit 3 straight ball games for the first time all season, which is why that average is so good. He's hardly had a slump. It's about the longest of the season for him. 3-2.
Yeah, just think about it. I mean, I bet he checks his stats, or maybe he doesn't check them, but he knows he's really been red hot. But at the end of the day, what he's been able to do over the course of the year, yeah, hit, but I mean, the last 2 games, Orioles have scored 2 runs in each one of them. So terrific job behind the plate.
Oriole infield switches, playing him to pull, won't matter. Jimenez gets his second strikeout, 2 down.
And the other thing is, when you come in, hitting almost 400 from the other side of the plate, over 300 from this side, you get pitched to. I mean, it's a perfect splitter. And, the league, you can see him split his fingers. You throw it as hard, you pull down on the ball. It acts like a fastball. You just don't, at least on the good ones, see the spin, and the bottom drops out. Perfect pitch at the outside corner.
Andrew Benintendi back in the lineup. Started in game 1. Went 1 for 4. Extended his hit streak to 5 ball games for their young left fielder. He's making his 21st start in left. The Red Sox have used 7 left fielders this year. Finally bringing the youngster up to play, and obviously he has really produced for them.
A ball, double A ball. Yep. Never in a bat at AAA, Pawtucket.
1-1 delivery on the way, and he went after one upstairs. Ubaldo gets ahead on the count, 1-2.
Yeah, it looks like, and again, not a lot of bats, that he's willing to hit the ball the other way, and that just makes it a little bit harder. You can wait. Looks like maybe if you hung a breaking ball, that's where the home run power comes in at this point.
Just missed inside. Benintendi, of course, in the long list of those left fielders, finally getting the one up here they wanted. They waited and waited, not wanting to bring him up until they felt he'd had at least a little time in the minors. But he started right out knowing what he had for a strike zone, and has really impressed John Farrell and company. 2 balls, 2 strikes on him. Ubaldo a chance to get out of this inning with a 1-2-3. 2-2 delivery on the way, and that one off the mask and back.
But see, you can see how big a swing. I mean, that's a little breaking ball that hung in the middle of the plate, and that's where he's going right at this point, hit his home runs or the extra base hits. If you speed the bat up, otherwise he'll just hit it to left field.
2-2 again, and Ubaldo has a solid inning. Wieters will make the play and get the out at first base. 3 strikeouts, 2 in the inning, a 1-2-3 inning. The Orioles, Davis, Trumbo, Alvarez coming up. Allen from Elkridge, 500 for being selected, 500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight. Grab a home run Rich's scratch offs before they're going gone. You could win up to $50,000. Visit mdlottery.com/baseball. Speaking of home runs, Chris Davis will be leading it off, then Trumbo and Alvarez. Home run hitters here in the second inning for the Orioles. Chris has had a couple off Buchholz in his career. .333 lifetime batting average against the Red Sox starter for Chris. Both of the Chris Davises, one with a C, one with a K, in the top 10 in home runs. The Orioles' Chris Davis 5th, while the Oakland's Chris Davis with a K, 2 ahead of him with 40. Orioles' Chris Davis 38. Pitch on the way by Buchholz, winds its way to the outside corner.
What a way to describe it, because that's what his pitches do. They cut You know, they turns them over. I mean, right there, the big curveball. I mean, all different speeds.
Buchholz with the infield shifted behind him and comes in at 81.
Yep. So I mean, you can't really time him. You have to hope that he makes mistakes. You know, I mean, what a year. I mean, I'm trying to look at the way he started as far as what was going on, and then, you know, you're thinking, what, you know, he's in the starting rotation for the first 10 games, and then he goes to the bullpen. I mean, just in and out, in and out, in and out. And they have Brian Bannister, you know, as one of their analytical guys, former major league pitcher, and he did the analytics on Buchholz about maybe halfway through the season, and said arm angle's different. So they kind of changed him. Carl Willis, the pitching coach, said, I'm all in this one because we want him to be better, and he has been.
Here's the 1-2 delivery to Chris, and he'll foul it off. And since going back into the rotation, Jim, he's 2-0. His ERA's over 5. 3 starts. Went back to the rotation September 6th. The Red Sox have won all 3 of those starts.
Yeah, and you know what Carl Willis said, listen, you know, yeah, the analytics are important, but the other part of it is you can't go 2-0 and 3-1. You can't nibble your way through the American League East. And why not? Watch Porcello pitch. He doesn't do that. He's 21-4.
1-2 delivery on the way. Davis inside out the other way. Will it find fair territory? No.
Yeah, well, if you're going pretty well, or maybe a little luck factor. I thought, and I was talking to Chris today, I thought he stayed inside the baseball because he's almost always around it, drops the hands. But last night off of Eduardo Rodriguez, I mean, he had a line drive over Bogart's head. That was a really good swing. And I know it's only one, but you just kind of like the approach. So did Scott Coolbaugh, his hitting instructor. So again, with what, 151 games played, boy, you'd like to have him get hot down the stretch.
11 left to go, including this one. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Buchholz delivers to him, and slower than slow, and had him out in front.
But you have to understand, it's not only the change of speed, but can you make the ball move when you do that? And this changeup, you know, it goes from what, 91. Look at him turn it over. You think it's going to be in the middle of the plate, doesn't end up there, just runs to the corner. And those are the kind of 2-strike pitches that you can't always make, but you try to make.
Mark Trumbo stands in. He has now been tied by Encarnacion, who got the home run in the 9th inning today to tie up that game in Seattle. So both of them have hit 43 home runs to lead the majors. Brian Dozier right behind them with 41. Mark has a 1-for-8 double and an RBI in this series. He has hit a long ball off Buchholz. 3 for 11 and 1 home run. 0-1 delivery on the way, and a ground ball that'll go to short, played by Bogarts, and we'll get the out. 2 down. PNC MASSonSports.com blog recap. Take a look. Steve Molesky. He's got a little look at David Ortiz on retirement, dugout phones, and more. Fans know about that. Brian Eller, don't miss the magic, providing inspiration to those battling disease. And for Pete Kersel, a tour of Babe Ruth's Baltimore coming up on Saturday. You can find it, brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. There's the phone. There's David Ortiz. Will the Orioles give him a gift, number 1? And number 2, will it be a shattered phone that he broke here in a fit of rage? Pedro Alvarez. He chuckled at it yesterday. He was asked, do you think they'll give you the broken phone on a plaque?
Well, what'd they give Mariano Rivera? I mean, they gave him a bronze,
broken bat
for all the bats he broke.
Those are the kind of gifts that are fun. I think the guys enjoy it. Pedro Alvarez in the DH role. Pedro with the 2 for 4, the only times he faced Buchholz. Gets ahead on the count here, 2-0. Alvarez seeing the at-bats cut down in the month of September as far as the numbers are concerned. Dangerous 2-0 for Buchholz, though. Alvarez takes the off-speed pitch up high.
Yeah, but I mean, Buck Showalter always talks about it. Reality is there are no, especially with Buchholz's fastball counts. He trusts all his other stuff, even though the fastball still has zip on it. He usually has life, but he's not going to take any chances. 2-0, misses with a changeup.
3-0 delivery on the way taken. It is a strike. He'll come back.
And even when he does throw the heater at 3-0, it's right at the knees. So just in case Pedro's swinging, didn't think that, and of course he might have thought it was borderline. He was ready to go take the walk.
3 ball, 1 strike count with 2 down. Alvarez whips it right off the facade top down the line in right field. He got the bat on that one.
Well, there's the cutter. And again, not only was it a cut fastball, it was perfectly located where you can't hit it anywhere but foul.
Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. And that's in there for a strike, and he knew it. So Buchholz picks up his 3rd K, 2 in the inning. He's retired the first 6 Orioles that he's faced. No score. Page. Gary Sanchez just keeps it going for the Yankees. 17 home runs since August 10, the most in a season by a player who had not hit one before August 1st. Jose Altuve MVP bids certainly with Houston. 3 straight seasons, 200 hits. He's increased his home run total by at least 5 in each of those 3 seasons. The only other player ever to do both of those things, Hall of Famer Rogers Hornsby at second base. And Happ, 20th win Tuesday. He and Porcello, the first time since 2008 the American League East has had 2 20-game winners in the same year. It was Roy Halladay at 20-11 and the Yankees' Mike Mussina 20-9, who had those 20-win seasons in 2008. No score in this one as we go to the 3rd inning. Jimenez working back at the top of the order. Pedroia grounded out his first time up. Breaking ball will be outside with that. By the way, for Happ with Toronto, the only pitcher to reach 20 wins for the first time in his 10th or later season in the majors was David Wells. He did it in 2000.
I remember watching that game when he won his, I think he did it for Toronto, and it was, you know, I'm fortunate enough to be with a lot of 20-game winners, do it 8 times myself. It was special because he had never done it at that time, and it was a terrific game. I think it was 3-2, 4-3 in Toronto. People were going nuts, and you know, Boomer had pitched here for a while. It's a huge thing because number one, it usually means you're able to pitch a lot of innings. You know, nowadays it means you were good. It means your team played well because they got you a lot of run support, so you could pitch later. You know, I mean, everything you need to do to win 20 games usually means you really had a heck of a year.
Yeah. Here's a 2-2 delivery by Ubaldo. It'll be in the dirt. We keep speaking about this has been a, I want to say senior year, but there are a number of seniors. David Ortiz, one of those. You got Haps another. Pedroia, who's become they're veteran players, but they're senior veteran players who are having
I think Dustin's
great
only
seasons.
33. Yeah, you're right. And
number of years playing.
But the other thing is, for Dustin, he's a lifetime 300 hitter. But if you go back, the most valuable player in 2008, when I met him, Gary, he came out of Arizona State. I said, "You're a second-round guy." He goes, "I don't know how that ever happened." I mean, that's the kind of player he is. So, he plays hard. Like David Ortiz was talking about it today. He said, "Listen, every team needs a Dustin Pedroia."
Pedroia will take that one to right field, right where Trumbo was playing. He's got it. 0 for 2 in the ball game for Pedroia. The push for the postseason is earnestly underway right now, and you can have postseason ticket priority. Get a deposit on a 17-season plan in. You've got to do it by Monday to guarantee access. Go to Orioles.com/postseason and see what it's all about.
And the other thing is, when you get good lineups, obviously the Orioles have one, the Red Sox have, the best. And you did the Mets. Did Keith Hernandez ever give away an at-bat?
No.
And those are the kind of guys you need on your team, especially if they're older. Pedroia, Ortiz, so they're in that category. Hanley Ramirez, the kind of year he's having, a veteran guy. And you get up, and that's hard to do because you get up 600 to 650, 75 times. So it's about focus and drive. And they sound like cliches, but if you've ever played the game or if you ever had to maintain your intensity as a hitter from April all the way to October, and if you go to the postseason almost into November, it's not always easy.
So Hanley Ramirez not in the lineup, just getting a rest. 2-0 delivery on the way. John Farrell trying to rest some of the guys who played a lot this year in situations he liked. Ramirez doesn't have particularly solid numbers against Jimenez, and he's been held down by Oriole pitching this year. So a game where John said I can give him a rest. 3-0 pitch and walked him. That'll be the second walk surrendered. And it comes with one away here in the third inning. And it comes in front of Ortiz.
Yeah, not what he wanted to do. Just, again, they were all over just a tad low.
Ortiz stands into the usual round of boos and applause. Base hit his first time up. Broken bat single that he placed into right field. Ortiz 8 home runs, 18 RBIs against the Orioles this year.
Yeah, now the talk, not that the division race is over by any means. Even though what the Red Sox 5 over the Orioles 4 over Toronto is, okay, who's going to be the MVP? Is it going to be Ortiz or Betts or maybe somebody else?
He went for one right there and fouls it back. Going out on top, we talked about those who have finished strong. Well, Dave Kingman's was at the top of that list. Most home runs final year. Not anymore.
Yeah, let's see. McGuire played, he played first base. Bonds was full-time player. Williams played the outfield.
Waiters. Got him! Matt Waiters gets Bogarts driving back into the bag on a perfect throw.
Yeah, perfect pitch inside so he can step right behind Ortiz. And then don't think Chris Davis doesn't have anything to do with this. He just puts the hammer down to a big lead. Right here, watch this tag. Boom. Oh, boy, that had to hurt. Not only your pride, but check this. Bam. Never even got to the bag. Boy.
That may be the biggest distance pickoff I've ever seen at first base. 0-2 delivery on Ortiz, goes down swinging. The defense again. And he did it earlier. Wieters, Davis do it here. Masson brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by M&T Bank, understanding what's important. Great view of Utah Street, the warehouse, ballpark on the left. And another great start to this one with some outstanding defensive plays made by the Orioles, and Buchholz retiring the first 6 that he has faced for Boston. It'll be Schoop, Wieters, and Hardy due up. The Orioles trail the Red Sox in the season series now 9-8. The Orioles have been outscored in the series 92-78. They've been out homered 30-26. Yet they're only 1 behind the Red Sox in the season series. Orioles have won the last 4 years of season series against Boston. Pitch will be taken for a strike by Jonathan Schoop. Couple of hits, 7 at bats in the series. John Farrell's team 87 wins. Buck Showalter's ball club 82. Schoop with the 0-1 pop-up. Shallow center. Could be trouble. Bermuda triangle. Base hit for him. Schoop is on.
Well, I tell you, Pedroia puts his head down because he knows Bradley plays deep, as we mentioned. Terrific center fielder. I mean, you can watch him right here. He's hauling because he knows he's not going to get to it. So again, right here, let's see, maybe like a 60-degree wedge. Big swing. And that certainly can fool outfielders. Not that Bradley had any chance to catch that one. So a soft base hit first. Base hit of the night.
Orioles get the leadoff man on. Both of these pitchers retire only 64% of leadoff batters. Here is Wieters. Matt's in an 0 for 11 right now. 0 for 7 in this series. Shift on against him. And the shortstop Bogarts way in on the grass. Now you see him backing up. That's what happens because Matt has in fact bunted in similar situations where they left it open for him.
And when he drives in runs, obviously the Orioles a better offensive team.
Buchholz quick throw, quick move, but actually a soft throw over to first base to Shaw. Jonathan Schoop, not a big lead over there at first base. 0-1 count. And there is the bunt shown. Pitch will be taken inside.
Yeah, actually it's a good take because he threw him a split changeup and ball went straight down and Matt recognized it.
Matt taking a look out there as Bogarts comes in to talk.
So probably mentioning okay, where I'm going to be, and then the other thing on a double play ball back to the mound, who's covering, because he's playing. I mean, Pedroia kind of shaded a little bit towards second, but obviously Bogarts just about as close.
1 ball, 1 strike count. That left side wide open. He shows it. He bunts. Throw's going to go to second. Bad idea. Leon making a decision that will cost an out as the throw low and Schoop gets in and Wieters is on.
I watched him throw between innings. What an arm he has. But this is just, you're right, Gary. I don't know what he's thinking about right here. Schoop runs for a big guy. You better make a perfect throw. He does it, and Jonathan is thinking about going to third. So again, I mean, it's going to be a sacrifice. And then Leon, who's known for his throwing, and you can see Bogarts making sure that he doesn't beat him to third base.
Well, there's a costly mistake. Giving opponents an extra out, always dangerous, but especially this time of year. And that's what just happened. Jonathan took one right in the back there.
You could see Pedroia trying to knock it down. Schoop did it for him.
Well, the Orioles get their first chance with a runner in scoring position. They are 1 for 6 in the series. They haven't had many chances in the first 2 games. J.J. Hardy at the plate. J.J. 324 in these situations, and
pesky pull. 2 of J.J.'s home runs at Fenway Park. Down the right field line, that foul ball named for Johnny Pesky. Terrific player for the Red Sox.
3 career home runs for Hardy against Buchholz. 1-0 delivery, and the fastball's up high.
Yeah, I kind of look like it errors when you're pitching. Obviously it is an extra out, and a lot of times you walk guys when you didn't want to, and everybody says, well, he had the leadoff walk, killed him. But what happens after the walks? What happens after the poor decision by Santillon? Can you get the big hit? And it can be a looper. It doesn't have to be a double up the gap, single up the middle.
2-0 delivery on the way. Matt Wieters was credited with a sacrifice fielder's choice. That is his second sacrifice bunt ever. So he wasn't kidding. Bogaerts wasn't buying it when he came up, showed bunt, but Matt 3 times looked at it, and that 3rd time he got one down. Bogaerts had stayed back.
Well, runs are at a premium for the Orioles. 4 straight games of 2 runs.
3-0 count. Hardy will take a pitch, and the bases are loaded. First walk surrendered by Buchholz, and the Orioles got a chance for a big inning. Nobody out. 3 on for Adam Jones. Talking about the inability to score runs with the 2 they have picked up in the last 2 ball games. They've been held to 10 hits each of the last 10 games. That is the longest streak for the Orioles since June of 2014. Well, add him up. 1 career grand slam. Takes the pitch. It is there for a strike.
Well, what did Boog Powell say in our opening? Get him on, get him in. Have some quality at bats. Try to. This is important here.
Adam 0 for 5 with the bases loaded this year. He and Trumbo have the most RBIs against the Red Sox this year, 12 each. That one in the air, left center field, falling down on the play. Benintendi will get it. Here comes the throw with no arm. Run will score. Jonathan Scope tagged up, sac fly, picked up by Adam Jones, and a 1-0 lead. Benintendi fell down as he started coming in.
Well, I was talking to Nolan Rymond. I said, boy, repair your divots last night. A couple of them playing left field. And for some reason, it's a little damper. And that's what happens right there. So he goes back, big swing, he gets fooled. And then, boy, you're just lucky to get it, and makes a horror. He almost throws it under the infield dirt. So at least you get the sacrifice fly. Certainly would have liked more, but you get on the board first.
82nd RBI for Adam. Runners stay. Wieters at second. Hardy at first. Here is Young-Soo Kim. 289 in these situations on the year, and he will take a pitch for a strike. Remember, Buchholz has those reverse numbers we've talked about. With the left-handers hitting .304 and the right-handers at .225. So just a big differential there.
Even though the right-handers hit the home runs.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get and warm his way out of a big inning, especially with his offense.
0-1 count, 1 down. 0-2.
Well, you got a rectangular strike zone, and that was up in the up and away corner. I'll tell you one thing. Probably a strike. Jordan Baker's certainly hasn't been giving the pitchers anything. You've had to earn it. A very consistent umpire.
Kim with the 0-2. And Kim a chopper. And did Buchholz find the bag? He did. Shaw, a little toss of about 3 feet. Buchholz was trying to find the bag.
Yeah, well, Shaw plays everywhere. Come right in here. Nice little pitch by Buchholz. And then the shovel toss. So again, he's trying to find the bag right as he gets there. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. The bonus, you do get 2 guys into scoring position. Can you get him in? Well, Scott Colba, as Manny Machado steps to the plate, Gary, he was saying, listen, and he describes Manny's swing as a Hall of Fame swing. And I mean, he's got that kind of batting average. He said when you're hot, you can hit everything. Well, you're not as hot as maybe you think. So concise the strike zone. And we told you it doesn't have good numbers against Buchholz. So look for your pitch till you get to 2 strike and think right center field.
And he grounded out his first time up. 2 in scoring position, 2 down. Big at bat. Popped him up. Catcher coming back. Leon. He's got it. Manny out of there. The Orioles, with the bases loaded, nobody out, will get 1 run on a sac fly by Adam Jones. Orioles 1-0. Unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com. Real good ball game here and a beautiful night in Baltimore. Orioles getting that run in the 3rd inning. 1-1-0 for the Orioles, 0-2-0 for the Red Sox. Ubaldo Jimenez, a couple of walks, 4 strikeouts. Buchholz a walk and 3 strikeouts. Seattle in extra innings has beaten Toronto 2-1 the final. We'll update you on that. There's the wild card updated now with Toronto half game. The Orioles, you see the 69 losses. Detroit game and a half, Houston game and a half, Seattle 2.5. It just gets tighter again, pending the outcomes, of course, of games being played tonight and today. Here's Mookie Betts. Betts with a walk. First time up. 7-game hit streak for him. He's been on base 33 consecutive road games. Pitch is taken away. The Red Sox come in 41-32 in games on the road, tied with Toronto in road wins coming into today's play. Orioles, on the other hand, the great home record that has held up all season long. They are now 3rd in the American League in wins at home. 2-ball, 1-strike delivery on the way. Jimenez got it in to center field. It will fall for Betts. A base hit, an 8-game hit streak, and a leadoff single here in the 4th inning. On Friday, the Orioles kick off Fan Appreciation Weekend, the final fireworks night presented by John Hopkins Advantage MD. 7:05 game, Diamondbacks in town. All fans are going to receive the Young Soo Kim Orioles t-shirt. Celebrate the final weekend regular season here at the ballpark. Get your tickets at Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD.
And it's just a matter of time to Mookie Betts steals. 24 out of 28 attempts. Ubaldo.
Shaw comes up, base hit. His first hit ever against Jimenez. Now 1 for 9.
Yeah, I did learn a lesson, Gary. You know, a lot of times managers pitching against the Yankees, and Roy White got on, Bobby Mercer was up, and I kept worrying about the runner. And he said a lot of managers will wait 1 out to give the left-handed hitter the hole, and then they'll steal. But I don't know about
up high to Shaw.
It seems like Mookie Betts with his 24 stolen bases, can steal pretty much when he wants to.
He is 6th in the league in stolen bases with 24. Rajai Davis with Cleveland with 40 leads, way ahead. As Jared Dyson of Kansas City's got 28 in second place. 1-0 pitch to Shaw, and the off-speed delivery is going to be in there for a strike. Throttled back a little bit on that one. Ubaldo, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, ideally you'd like to get the catcher the ball in about 1.3 seconds. Ubaldo on his quickest move is about 1.7.
One ball, 1 strike count. Betts back. 2 pitchers, both have been sent to the bullpen, both coming back to the rotation. We talked about Buchholz for Ubaldo. He's gone 2-1, 3.28 ERA over 5. He came back into the rotation on August 25. Hitters have been 181 off him since coming back. Pitch is taken up high. You compare that to the overall 278 average on the year. That's pretty significant. 2 ball, 1 strike count on Travis Shaw. Hill to follow. Mookie Betts, another half step in the lead. Not going. And the pitch up.
Yeah, so the dilemma is, okay, how do you control the running game and still throw strikes? And that can be a problem. You know, you try to quicken up your windup, and then, you know, he walks 5 per 9 innings anyway. If you change something, it gets worse.
Runner goes. Swung on and popped up.
Yeah, Ubaldo for the second.
Over there, can't get it.
That was the 2nd straight game. He caught a pop-up against Tampa. This time overruns it. Made it look routine over the weekend. And when the Rays were in, because look where Manny is. Manny's all the way over here. There's no way he can get here. Takes a look. I'm telling you, he looked at the third base coach. Should have run him over. Got interference. And then he just overruns the ball.
So an extended at bat.
Well, you would have gotten a stolen base, but again, if you catch that ball, Betts goes back and you get yourself an out. Now Shaw gets to hit again.
3 ball, 2 strike count, nobody out here. Betts is running again. Wieder's got a chance. It'll bounce and go into left field. He doesn't see it, now he does. And Betts will go to third. Stolen base and an error on the throw, a tough one. And he gets to third base with 1 out.
Yeah, if you're Matt Wieters, you see the big jump and then you hurry. Not a good throw at all. I mean, you can see Hardy trying to get it before it hits Betts. Watch the ball tail. It's almost like he threw it to the right. That's what, about 4 feet to the second base side, and the Red Sox down by a run get a huge break.
So a runner at third with 1 away on the strikeout of Shaw, the 5th strikeout for Jimenez. And Aaron Hill robbed of a hit first time up, on a great play by Manny Machado with the bases loaded. Pitch is taken down low for a ball. Aaron Hill, we talked about all the left fielders the Red Sox have used. Same thing at third base. 28th start for Hill at third. He's the 8th third baseman that the Red Sox have used this season. 1-0 delivery taken. It's a strike.
Yeah, the infield back, so they'll concede a run. Ubaldo, if he gets another strike, obviously will go hunting for the strikeout. And of course, Hill, he hits a ground ball anywhere but back to the pitcher, he's going to get himself an RBI.
1-1 delivery to him will be in the dirt. Matt Wieters puts the block on that one. Hill has had only 22 chances with the runner in scoring position and has had 6 hits in those opportunities. A veteran player acquired from Milwaukee July 7th. 2-1 breaking ball. 3 ball 1 strike count.
Yeah, had no interest in chasing that. And this is how you get yourself in trouble, because if you look on deck, 26 home runs. Jackie Bradley Jr. sitting there.
3-1 delivery to him. Hill will go after it, foul it away. Such a typical Ubaldo start. He's got 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. He's thrown, what, 78 pitches? 70 pitches.
Yeah, 28 in the first inning.
Yet no runs.
Yeah. Well, he's really used his breaking ball well. I mean, he's totally unpredictable tonight.
3-2 delivery. And a chopper foul. And I don't know how he got that one.
Well, that's a perfect example. You talk about the emergency hack.
I think there's an interference here. Going down to first base is Hill. Home plate umpire Jordan Baker came out immediately. Saw Matt try and pull the glove back.
Well, look how late he swings. And again, he does get the glove.
The catcher's interference called, allowing Hill to reach. And the Red Sox get runners on at first and third for Jackie Bradley Jr., even though they don't get a run in, and it does set up a double play opportunity. That'll be the second error of the game in the inning, and both have been charged to Matt Wieters on the catcher's interference. This one. So the Red Sox, Jackie Bradley Jr. popped out his first time up, first and third, and the pitch down low. Wieters scoops that one out. All kinds of everything for Ubaldo here in the first 4 innings of this ball game. Bases loaded. Big play to get out of the first inning, then set the side down in order in the second. Got a great pickoff by Wieters. So he only had to face 3 in the third, and now here. And that's way up high, 2-0, and that'll send Wieters out.
Yeah, Bradley, I mean, you got to be a little bit concerned. The fact, he hit 26 home runs. But his retort was not a bad total for a defensive specialist. He only got up 221 times last year, hit 10 home runs, so he's got some power. This year, one of their regulars, righties and lefties, doesn't matter.
Oriole bullpen will start moving about.
Well, they're all must-win games. So, you've already lost the first 2, 5-2, 5-2, so can't let the game get out of hand. So take a look right here. You can see right there, behind in the count. That's the way he's had the pitch.
Taken, yeah. Not even close. No. 3-0.
Well, you're just going to pitch your way into a big inning. I mean, sometimes you have to concede a run, especially if it's a tying run. Because what happens is the pitch count goes up. You don't, you're not even around long enough.
That one will be in there, inside corner. So he's only a ground ball away from getting out of this jam here in the 4th inning. Jackie Bradley Jr., despite the speed, has hit us into double plays. 10 of them. 3-ball, 1-strike delivery, and he walked him, and they're loaded. So a single, catcher's interference, and a walk have loaded the bases with 1 down here in the 4th inning. 3rd walk. Jimenez has walked the 7th most in the American League coming into today's play. A lot of those, though, came before the All-Star break. Well, Leone coming up. If he ever was going to get out of a little bit of a slump right now, he's 0 for his last 14. This is when he'd like to do it. He's 3 for 8 with the bases loaded. He's got Betts, Hill, and Bradley on.
Oh, wow.
Almost caught the jersey.
How did that ball not hit him?
He hadn't had so much for dinner, he would have let this one hit him. But
not just by a smidgen does he not get drilled.
1-0 pitch to him is a strike, 1-1.
Well, you got to, I suppose, if you want to look at speed factor, you got a lot better chance to get Leone to hit into a double play, even though he's hitting higher than Bradley, because he doesn't run as well.
1-1 delivery to him, ripped. Davis got it. They got a chance for 2. There's one. Ubaldo. Hey, they got it. Unbelievable ending to the inning. Double play. Chris Davis with a strong throw. And watch the turnover at second base on that arm of Hardy. As he gets Leone, no runs, 1 hit, 2 errors, and no runs scored. Had him by a full step. On our notebook page of East wins was Tanaka, New York, allowing just 6 runs over his past 6. 2.97 ERA, leads the American League, bidding for Cy Young ballot. He pitches tonight at Tampa Bay. The Mariners defeated the Blue Jays 2-1 in 12 today. Cano got the sack. That was the game-winning RBI. And the Blue Jays 69 runs in September. They are 12th in the American League this month in run.
And the Red Sox, to give you an idea, the difference, the Red Sox with 115 so far.
Some difference.
Yeah, leading the pack.
Chris Davis, some difference at first base. Strikeout victim is first time up. Unfortunately, Chris probably will not garner a lot of Gold Glove votes at first base. It's very hard to untrench someone who's won a Gold Glove at first until they really have a bad year. Chris has been a Gold Glove caliber player at first all year long, but you have to see that day in, day out.
Well, he has, and you like to think that they take that into consideration. They look at the zone ratings. I mean, Hosmer's terrific first baseman, but again, look at some zone ratings. This year is not like most of his year.
2-0 count, and that pitch is going to be up high, so Buchholz not anything close this time around to Chris Davis.
And the other factor is a lot of guys take, if you're not hitting like you want to, Chris has hit a lot of home runs, average not where he wants it, they take it out to the field. That has not been the case. Superb.
3-0 delivery on the way, and that's going to be in there for a strike. Well, Chris knows he's never probably going to hit for a big average. It's not what he gets paid for. He's a home run hitter. That's what he goes for. Not trying necessarily to hit home runs, but he's looking for power opportunities. Shift on against him. 3-1 delivery, and he draws a leadoff walk. And we'll bring up Mark Trumbo in our Maryland Live Casino Inside the Numbers.
There you go. Nelson Cruz last year leaves the Orioles. He had hit 40 2014, goes out to Seattle. Josh Donaldson, one of the great trades that the Blue Jays ever did. Brett Lowry goes over to Oakland. And then about Cruz with the Orioles, as we mentioned, and then Chris Davis this year. He leaves from Milwaukee and goes to the A's. And then Mark Trumbo, of course.
Mark grounded out his first time up, leadoff man on for the Orioles. Trumbo will take it away for a ball.
Yeah, hit it hard the first time, but Bogaerts was playing right in the hole at shortstop. You'd like to elevate it and hit it hard.
Chris Davis with a walk, 82 of them. He's 5th in the league to start the inning out for the Orioles, 5th in free passes. 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's way outside by Buchholz.
Well, that's 6 in a row.
Yankees have jumped out to an early lead in their ball game, 7-4, bottom of the 3rd inning.
There
you see they're right back in it just when you think they're gone. They're not going to make a run at the division, but they are in the wild card race. 2-0 delivery on the way, and that ball in the air to center. Jackie Bradley Jr. with a runner halfway puts it away. And the first out here in the 4th inning. Birds playing for October. We don't want you to miss a moment. Text Orioles at 29292 and stay up to date with MLB standings and O's news. Orioles 29292 for text alerts you can't miss. Standard message and data rates may apply. Tampa Bay's had back-to-back home runs in that ball game to get on the board against the Yankees. Longoria, Brad Miller, Corey Dickerson have had the home runs. Here is Pedro Alvarez. Alvarez a strikeout victim his first time up. Davis off first base. Alvarez will take it for a strike. Pedro in September only half the number of at-bats that most of the regulars have. He's had 34, including the one tonight. Hitting just .212, a couple of home runs in the month of September. Buchholz with the 0-1 pitch to him, hard and foul.
Yeah, really good fastball hitter. Wayne Kirby dives and dodges his way out of harm's way. Yeah, if you're a first base coach, the only thing you want to do with that ball is not get hit by it. It was hit hard. Hanging curveball.
He's keeping an eye on Davis and the hitter. 0-2 pitch to Alvarez and just missed somehow. And a 1-ball 2-strike count.
You got to know the inside corner. I mean, sometimes Wade Boggs, when he had all the Hall of Fame career with the Red Sox, or anything inside his hands, he knew it was off the plate. But that ball just missed.
Shift on against Alvarez at double play depth. 1-2 delivery, and that one's about the same place. 2-2.
Yeah, trying to run it back and maybe catch the inside corner. That's what Greg Maddux used to do. And it's just inside. And
Buchholz, a long look over in the 2-2 delivery down to first, foul ball.
Yeah, Shaw holding Chris Davis on the bag, so hard to keep it fair and have him miss it. Doesn't really come off a whole lot. Ball, hook, and foul.
Everybody's dancing on this at bat.
Yep. There you go.
Mike Wagner, the first base umpire, had to do a little two-step on that one.
Well, they had the shift on and trying to defend and then try to get him out with breaking stuff, and that's what he's pulling foul.
Here's the 2-2 delivery again, and that's inside, so Alvarez works it. And a 3-ball 2-strike count for Buchholz.
Now, will the Orioles run? When you pitch against the Orioles, you don't really have to worry about their base running. They don't put any pressure on you. I mean, 17 steals all year long. They have averaged the last 4 months, 1 attempt. They don't run. We'll see if they start them here. They out of the double play.
3-2. Davis staying. Alvarez pops it up. Long run, Leon. Nobody else is over there. Leon. Oh, that's a nice play. That's a long way for a catcher to go to get a pop up, and he stayed with it. That's a big out.
Yeah, the minute the ball goes up, Sandy Leon, I mean, he just sprints. Take a look right here. There goes the mask. I'm going. Creates a sense of where his defense is playing and really makes the play easy. Not that it's an easy play. So they're looking for outs, and they get one.
So now there are 2 away. Leone a good job, and Jonathan Scope base hit, run scored. Adam Jones brought in with a sac fly. That was in the 3rd inning. 2 down. And we'll take the pitch for a strike. Veteran Buchholz 10-7 lifetime against the Orioles. Here in this ballpark, he's 5-3 here at Camden Yards. Lined into center field. Jackie Bradley Jr. in a hop, hit so hard Davis has got to stop at second base. Scope is 2 for 2 in the ball game, and the bat looks like it's heating up. Our PNC minor league report. PNC for the achiever in you.
We'll take a look. I mean, these are the batting leagues. Double-A Bowie, Chance Cisco, minor league player of the year, Henry Urrutia, Rosa Bourbon, who was up and down a couple of times, Mike Yaz Stremski, grandson of Carl.
So here's a big chance for the Orioles. They are 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position tonight. Matt hitting .277 in these situations. He had a sacrifice fielder's choice bunt in the 3rd inning. 2 away, 2 on. Matt in the air, right field. Mookie Betts. And he will put it away for the out. No runs, a hit, no errors. 2 are left on base. 1-0 O's.
Highlights, a lot of defense. 28 pitches. First inning ended when Machado, bases loaded, throws out Aaron Hill. And then right here, how about the pickoff? Bogarts walks, gets picked off. Matt Wieters to Chris Davis, and then bases loaded. Leone, what a double play. Orioles leading 1-0, and still are at the time 3-6-1. Don't see it very often. Those are your Geico game highlights. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free quote.
Valdo Jimenez, a rotation that through the last 6 games has had an ERA of 6.6. Jimenez trying to undo some of those numbers for the Orioles tonight. And the pitch is in there for a strike. Benintendi, strikeout victim his first time up. Pedroia and then Bogarts. 1-2-2 for the Orioles. 0-3-0 Red Sox. Orioles have left 4. The Red Sox have left 5. Jimenez has worked his way through jams in the 1st and 4th innings. 0-2 pitch on the way, and a check on it, and he's gone. Called.
Yeah, a little cut fastball, maybe hard slider. Struck out on a splitter the first time, so he's just trying to protect. Doesn't look for this pitch. Right at the bottom of the strike zone.
Gets the K. He's got 6 in the ball game. He's had as many as 9 this season. Here's Dustin Pedroia 0 for 2. He's grounded out, flied out. First pitch strike on the outside corner. Jimenez started his second game of the year against the Red Sox. 4 runs, 6 hits over 5. Then on June 2nd against Boston, non-decision. 5 runs, 6 hits over 5 innings. Pitch will be taken away. 1 ball, 1 strike count.
Yeah, that was the the ERA of almost 8 runs a game early in the year.
1 ball, 1 strike delivery. Pedroia will foul that one back and out of play.
Well, he has really, along with Matt Wieters, who's calling the pitches, mixed up the pitches tonight. He's gotten himself in some trouble and so on and so on. But at the end of the day, they have no idea what's coming. Totally unpredictable. And of course, you like to do that if you can throw enough strikes and not walk a lot of people.
1-2 delivery on the way. Pedroia down to third base. Manny Machado gets the big hop and the out. Take a look at our league leaderboard, brought to you by Coons.com. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting.
Yeah, double play groundouts. The Rangers lead the pack. The Twins, we hope that they'll get a lot against the Tigers, who they're playing. The Tigers 1 game behind the Orioles in the wild card, and then the A's. Orioles right in the middle, 137. And there's the average at the bottom. So
23-year-old Xander Bogaerts' birthday will be coming up on October 1, final weekend of the regular series. So their star young shortstop out of Aruba. Bogaerts, the 2 down, nobody on. He drew a walk and got picked off by Matt Wieters in the 3rd inning and struck out in the 1st. 260 against the Orioles this year for Bogaerts. 1-0 delivery, and that's going to be away, and it's 2-0.
Well, you need to be aggressive. Just look on deck, and you got a 1-0 lead. Yeah, Bogaerts. I mean, the difference between Bogaerts this year and last year, 196 hits, but 7 home runs. This year he's a home run guy, but you got to throw strikes. You have to make him earn his way on.
2-0 delivery to him. That's in there. Silver Slugger Award winner. Pretty darn good for 23-year-old shortstop that he got last year when he hit .320. Playing the season there, ended up just shy of 200, 196 hits.
182 coming into the night, but the home run total's gone up. Yeah, he's going to have to hurry with 11 games. Orioles hope that he gets those hits when he leaves Baltimore.
Bogaerts has hit in 13 consecutive. Played here at Camden Yards. 2 ball, 2 strike count. And Bogaerts fooled and is gone. So Jimenez gets his 7th strikeout. Only 12 pitches to retire the side in order in the 5th. Good pitching duel. Orioles up 1-0. Orioles lead this one 1-0. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer with you. Orioles obviously with 11 games left to go, including this one. You just got to win. You got to get the business done. As we said before, it's in your own hands, and now it's up to the Orioles. If you win games, you're in.
Well, you are, and the thing, Ubaldo gives up 4 early runs against Tampa, then he pitches all the, through 7 innings. That's what he's done the last 5 times. So, giving him a chance to win, something that he had struggled doing, and then, of course, Friday night, and you're probably wondering what this says.
No.
This is the young Sue Kim's shirt. He says, I love Gary Thorne. Palmer's not too bad. No, actually, that's Orioles, good. And then his name on the back. So that's Friday night.
That's what it says.
Yeah, well, I think
that's always amazed me.
That's his sentiment.
How do you learn that writing? It's art.
Well, I talked to him. I bonded with him today down on the field. I don't care if he took my parking spot, but that's all right. As long as he has a good year.
Look, his interpreter wasn't with him. He parked. The interpreter wasn't there to tell him it was the wrong spot.
But in April?
Danny wasn't there. If Danny had been there, he would have taken care of the whole thing.
Yes.
Ball will be fouled away by Hardy. I'm still gonna get him because Kim can speak. He knows exactly what's going on. He speaks not fluent English, maybe, but certainly speaks English. He knows.
He knows what?
He knows English. He knows what you're saying, what you're doing. He knows what's going on. 0-2 count on Hardy. JJ drew a walk his first time up. 0-2 pitch is going to be bounced off the shin guard.
Yeah, so Buchholz is 32. The no-hitter, his only one, 2007 against the Orioles. Did that game, pretty masterful. And then again, the windup wasn't where he wanted. He would have to go back to the minors. But he can you can see he still gets it up there 92, 93. Just doesn't use his fastball a whole lot.
80 wins, 61 losses. Buchholz's career. Hardy hitting ninth, takes the pitch down low. Jones and Kim will follow. 2-ball, 2-strike count on JJ here in this 1-0 ball game where the runs have been hard to come by in a series that has been all about offense. Coming into this, Orioles ERA against the Red Sox 5.6 and the Red Sox 4.7 against the O's. Pitch is going to be outside. Buchholz with a 360 spin, 3-2.
Yeah, I bet the Red Sox are probably saying, when is the last time he ever threw 3 consecutive fastballs, and none of them even close. It just doesn't. That's just not the way he pitches.
And Hardy not biting on any of them away. Full count. JJ trying to get on here. Ground ball, middle. Bogarts running, throw, gets it.
And then he comes back with a cutter. That's what he got Trumbo out on the 2-0 pitch. He loves that pitch, and it's very effective.
Saturday, part of Fan Appreciation Weekend. The Orioles taking on the D-backs 7:05. First 25,000 15 and over. Get the Orioles hooded sweatshirt. You can prepare for the chill of fall while the postseason heats up. Final Saturday, regular season. Get your tickets at Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Certainly didn't feel like the last day of summer today. It felt more like the middle of summer with the temperatures up in the 80s. It is, of course, the final day of the summer season officially.
How do you know these things?
Listen to NPR.
There you go. So simple, isn't it?
It is. It's not hard. You want the facts or you want the other garbage?
It off. NPR, calendars, all those little things that.
Adam Jones, RBI sac fly, the only run batted in the ball game, and he is struck out. 1 down, nobody on. 286 average against Buchholz, who goes after him low and away.
And I'm going to go to my iPhone. You're actually going to need that sweatshirt on Saturday night. It's going to be a low of 61. The weather is going to break as of Friday afternoon.
Perfect.
And we're going to put the chill on the Diamondbacks. From Arizona, where it's about 108 every day, even though they play indoors. 61 Saturday and Sunday night.
Like that. Then came inside on him, kept both pitches down, and an 0-2 count. Diamondbacks here for the weekend, not looking beyond tonight or tomorrow, but the Diamondbacks will be here to finish up the regular home part of the season for the Orioles, and then they head out to Toronto and New York. 0-2 count. Adam, a couple of home runs lifetime off Clay Buchholz. 0-2 delivery on the way, and Adam will foul that one first base side.
Get home last night, turned the game on. They were playing the Padres. They had an hour rain delay in San Diego last night. So
that's beautiful.
California can always use rain.
More the merrier.
Yeah.
Adam trying to join the 30 home run hitters. Needs a couple more. Orioles would become the first team since the 09 Phillies to have 4 players with 30 or more home runs in a season. And he goes after one upstairs, and it will remain at 2 strikes.
Yeah, a lot of fastballs here in the 5th by Clay Buchholz. Almost like he had a protein drink between innings. And now all of a sudden, high riders, 91, 92. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a little cutter or something.
Down and away.
Yep. And a bad way to pitch. No, going in.
0-2 delivery.
Now change up.
And a base hit to center field.
Should have thrown the cutter away. Nice at bat by Adam Jones.
Adam gets the base hit with 1 away. His first hit of the ball game.
There's a change up, and boy, he covers it, stays with it, speeds up the bat a little bit, and then finds a hole in the center field.
So the Orioles get a man on here in the 5th inning. Each team now with 3 hits. That's all. Red Sox had 2 in the 1st and 1 in the 4th, all singles. The Orioles picked up single in the 3rd, single in the 4th, single here in the 5th. Young-Soo Kim, of whom we were speaking a moment ago. He has grounded out twice. Kim will go after the first pitch or not. No. 1-0 count. Tough ball game. Just hard to get anybody around the base paths here off these 2 pitchers. 1-0 count. Buchholz a look over at Jones, not going. Kim the ground ball foul.
Yeah, take a look. I mean, this is what he does in the season. So 63% fastballs, sliders and curveballs. That's the 19%, and then tonight again hitting a lot of fastballs, but more changeup. And again, if you want to characterize what the type of hitters the Orioles are, they're pretty good fastball hitters. Tonight he's trying to change speeds. So far, pretty effective.
Kim hitting .306, 1-1. Inside out off the handle and foul. And the count goes to 1-2. 72. You see the pitch count for Clay Buchholz. Adam Jones down there at first base, 1 away. Must have been what I had for dinner right there. Throw over. Adam was just a step off the bag. Speaking of Boog's Barbecue.
All I can say, I'll tell you, that barbecue sandwich was
delicious. No,
sorry I had to beg for it, but
yes, that's all right. It was worth begging
yes,
for.
It
actually.
Was.
1-2. Adam not going. Kim will take it up.
Yeah, I mean, you could see how cautious Adam Jones was. You want to get a good secondary lead, but on the ball up and in, that's how Bogaerts got picked off by Matt Wieters. And Leon thinking the same thing.
Both these catchers will throw behind runners anywhere. Leon and Wieters.
I mean, if you really think Leon, the error on the throw to second, that kind of led to the sacrifice fly by Jones, the only run here.
Buchholz 2-2 delivery on the way. In the air, right center, hit hard. Jackie Bradley Jr. going back and will make the catch. Jones will tag, but he had to go back to do so. Look at that throw from the wall on one hop to Bogaerts at second base.
Well, 12 assists already, and that's I think tied for the lead as center fielders. And again, he hit it to the farthest part of the ballpark in that sense, unless you go way to left center to 410. Maybe off the bat, I think Adam Jones thought that ball might get out of here, so he went halfway and then came back to tag up. By that time, the throw probably would have thrown him out at second base.
Two outstanding center fielders in this game. Here's Manny Machado. Manny has popped out, grounded out, 0 for 8 in the series. He's now 4 for 20. Lifetime off Buchholz. Jones on at first with 2 down. Manny will take it up high. There's Leon. Not in time. Stayed on the bag.
Well, it's a great way to cut down leads. And again, this is a small ballpark, so it's hard sometimes, even unless a guy gets an exceptional lead, to score even on a double, unless it's down into the corner, maybe over the head of one of the outfielders. And that's a good way to cut a lead out. Try to pick a guy off, maybe half a step, shorten the lead by that.
1-0. And Manny will take pitch outside for a ball.
So this is what Scott Coolbaugh was talking about. The last time with 2 outs, bases loaded, chased I don't know, it was kind of a nothing cutter and just popped up, didn't have a good swing. Look in a certain area until you get to 2 strikes and just be Manny. Don't try to overswing.
Two-0 delivery to him, and that one's going to miss. Buchholz again falling off to that first base side of that big spin he does. He
missed by 2 feet. Leon moved up and in and almost threw it by him low and away.
So the count goes to 3-0 on Manny with Chris Davis in the cleanup hole waiting on deck.
I wouldn't bet against the ranch that he's swinging here.
See what Buchholz gives him here. 3-0, and he got it in, popped it up off the end of the bat. Bogaerts is coming over, and he will put it away, and that will retire the side. No runs, a base hit, 1 left on. Pitching duel, 1-0 O's.
The day unfold. Take a seat, kick up your feet. Ain't the beer cold? We're 2 drinks in and we're singing again, giving it our best shot. Let's buckle up, we've got enough. We won't stop. Oh.
Orioles have the 1-0 lead. Sac fly by Adam Jones. Another good ball game with the house here. And here's David Ortiz coming up, and that sends the folks to a frenzy of boos and cheers. David a base hit, and he has struck out. Ortiz now in this series 4 hits, 10 at bats, couple of home runs, and 5 RBIs.
Yeah, they give him
Shows
the
bunt, and he stayed away, and it didn't go after it.
Perfect pitch to bunt if he was so inclined. Kind of a floating breaking ball that
Manny will not come in and take it away from you.
Well, it's a 1-0 game, and we've hit home runs here 6 in the last 9 games. 30 total, and there you go. You know what? Hey, even though you have a guy that hit 31 on deck, they'd rather have him swing away.
30 home runs in this ballpark, 55 overall against the Orioles. 2-0 pitch to him, and he takes it, and that's going to miss. Count goes to 3-0 as Ubaldo not close.
Well, this is the kind of presence that he brings. And I mean, not only, obviously, if you want to look at the year he's having, 36 home runs. He's got tied for the league in doubles, most extra base hits, 121 RBIs. But he won't swing at balls. Very rarely does he chase out of the zone.
Here's the 3-0 delivery to him, and that's not even remotely close. No. So he didn't want anything to do with him, but it's a leadoff walk. His 48th American League leading walk. Go beyond the stadium. Discover Venice on Florida's Gulf Coast. Sarasota, recently recognized as one of the top 2 happiest seaside towns in America. That's by the 2015 Coastal Living magazine. Find out about it. Visit sarasota.org.
So the next pitch will be the 96th.
3 walks surrendered by Ubaldo. Mookie Betts one of them, and he has picked up a base hit to extend his hit streak to 8 games.
Now this is such a big game. You would not think, as good as he's pitched, you would think they're thinking about getting some people up in the bullpen. There's Brad Brock. He usually pitches in later innings, but not this time of year.
1-0 delivery. When there are only 11 games left, every inning is late.
Yeah, it really is.
That'll send Wieters out as the count goes to 2-0, 6 in a row out of the strike zone. And Matt will have a little conference here just to shake it up a little bit.
Yeah, you've already seen what happened back in the first. Ortiz singles, Betts walks, and Shaw actually gets a base hit, but because Ortiz can't run, you don't get the run. And as it turns out, you get out of it. A little bit different here. That's the one thing that Big Papi can't do.
Because of it, Chris Davis plays off at first base. Yeah. Taken for a strike by Betts. Each team 3 hits in the ball game. The Orioles have the run. You see how Davis comes off the bag by a couple of steps. 2-1 delivery. That's there for a strike.
Yeah, wanted to try to get a better pitch to hit. Ran back over the plate. The base hit, he walked the first time. Base hit the next time up was just a slider, and he just simply pinged it into center field.
34 consecutive games now he's been on base on the road. That's going to be a base hit into left field. And Ubaldo, it's about time for the pen.
Yeah, you would think so.
2 on, nobody out here in the 6th inning. And Shaw will be coming to the plate. That'll be just hit number 4, and that'll bring Dave Wallace out to the mound.
Yeah, I mean, it was a second guesser's buffet last night when Gausman got to pitch to Ortiz and did make a good pitch 1 and 2, even though he got ahead of him, 3-run home run. So you can always look back, but I always kind of look at what's going on. Can he throw strikes? Are they in the middle of the plate? And again, and then who's in the bullpen? And Brock, he's kind of back to the all-star form.
The age-old question in baseball: do I have something better in the bullpen than what I have on the mound at this moment? The answer to that right now, I think, is yes.
Yeah.
Their call down you saw to see whether or not Brock is ready to go. Tom Cheedy, bullpen coach. So here's Shaw, base hit, and he is struck out. Just 1 for 10 against Ubaldo. They're looking for the ground ball here to get the double play. The shift is on, and it requires Manny Machado to have to stay close to third base, even though it's Ortiz, the runner at second. You can't give him a free lane to go to third. 0-1 count. Shaw goes after it and fouls it back, and Ubaldo comes back at him 0-2.
Yeah. Again, and you're always weighing, okay, pitch count, is up there close to what, now 102. He's thrown 108, 110, veteran pitcher. A lot of times you had a young bullpen, you'd probably leave him in there, but you just never ever know.
0-2 in the dirt. Good pick by Wieters. Plus, as Buck constantly talks about, it's not just the number of pitches, it's have they been tough pitches, and they have been.
Yeah, I mean, 1-0 ball game.
And tough innings in the first and fourth. 1 ball, 2 strike count, but he's held him off the board. No runs, 4 hits for Boston. 1-2 delivery, and Shaw will take it inside. A little overthrow on that one. 2-2. Baldo 7-11 on the year, 0-1 this year, 2-5 lifetime against Boston. Ortiz with a walk-off second, Betts off first. Shot takes, and he was fooled,
right
and he's gone.
Middle. Wow. I mean, the radar gun tells me it was a fastball, but it almost looks like a splitter. Just a running fastball. He tries to duck it. Jordan Baker says, Boy, and here comes Buck Showalter.
Nice hand for Jimenez, who has given the Orioles a chance to win.
Out of trouble, but pitches his way out. You know, right here, great splitter, and he would end up, at least on my card, strikeout 8. And he gets Ortiz. And then, of course, the pickoff, the double play. Look at him cover first base. Don't see this very often to get out of the 4th inning. And then right there, Benintendi. A lot of clutch pitches. Only 1 run to work with. And he will leave with a 1-0 lead. A couple of guys on. Take a look at our Jiffy Lube pitching change. Brought to you by Jiffy Lube, where participating stores now do brake services. Stop in and let Jiffy Lube inspect your brakes today. So there are the numbers. Brad Brock, busy weekend against the Tampa Bay Rays. Pitched well, all-star game, power fastball, slider, and a very, very good changeup.
Aaron Hill, runners at first and second base, and Hill will take it for his strike. Hill is 2 out of 7 against Brock.
Well, there you are. He came in against Tampa on Sunday, got his 10th win. Again, dominates right-handers.
0-1 delivery on the way, and that'll miss inside. Wow. Yeah. Brock has had 24 out of 25 of inherited runners stranded. He's got 2 here in Ortiz and Betts. Oriole 1-0 lead, 6th inning. Brock's delivery to him, tops it. Brock, Wieters up and doesn't get him. They may look at that, a little miscommunication between Brock and Wieters. Wieters was pointing to third base.
For why? I have no idea about that. I mean, right here, it's a great slider, and right here. I mean, Brock is, you know, he doesn't have the angle, but it's a much easier play. And then again, bang, bang at first. And they're going to probably take a look at it.
Obviously, a very important call.
Yeah, you know, I was out early, a couple of days ago, and I'm watching this guy sprint, and it's Aaron Hill. You know, here's a veteran guy. Take a look right here, and boy,
he's safe.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's anything to change, and that's what you have to have happen. But I saw him in the hallway today. I said, I thought you were running 220s. He said, well, I don't get to play as much as I want.
So the bases are loaded with one away.
Got down there quickly.
Infield a single, I would assume there. And Jackie Bradley Jr. comes up here with the bases loaded. He has walked and popped out. A walk to Ortiz at third. Betts a single at second. Single by Hill at first base. One down. And the pitch will be taken inside on a heater at 95 miles an hour.
When's the last time you ever saw an infield hit almost straight back to the pitcher? Been a while.
Baldo looking, responsible for those lead 2 runners. That will be taken down low. Red Sox 2 for 5. Runners in scoring position in the game. Brock down here 2-0 and Jackie Bradley Jr.
Yeah, well, moment of truth. You got to throw what you think you can throw over. He'll be sitting on a fastball. 26 home runs, hit one of them last night on a fastball.
Here's the 2-0 delivery inside to him. 3-0. Bradley 0 for 5 off Brock.
Yeah, he'd love to take a walk.
Cannot believe there'll be any green light here. 3-0 delivery, and he's taking all the way.
I mean, you pretty much have to throw the next 2 pitches for the middle of the plate and hope they don't go there. That's kind of what they talk about, trusting your stuff. Got to make him put the ball on play. Very dangerous hitter, though.
Here's the 3-1 and a great pitch. Down and a 3-2 count.
Yeah, all night long we've seen Orioles swing at cutters off of buckholes. This is a slider. Talk about a gutsy pitch. And it ends up being a ball, but it fools him.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bases are loaded here in the 6th inning. And the 3-2. And he struck him out. Low and away on Jackie Bradley Jr. 2 down.
97 miles per hour. Boy, what a comeback by Brad Brock. From 3-1 and right there, perfectly located outside third of the plate. A great high home shot, right almost on the corner.
Red Sox 2 down. Leone came up 4th inning with a big opportunity, hit into a 3-6-1 double play that ended the inning. Bases had been loaded with 1 away when he hit into it. Now the bases are loaded. 2 down. Leone will take the pitch down low. He still is in the 0 for slump, 0 for his last 15 at the plate. Red Sox have had opportunities.
Yeah, he's still trying to atone for the throwing error, which led to the Orioles' run. Certainly a great opportunity to do it. But Brad Brock has other ideas.
1-0 count. Leone will foul that one back. Leone 0 for 2 off Brad Brock, the All-Star. Right-hander trying to work out of this jam.
Well, what an acquisition from the Padres. 7-1, 5-3 this year, 10 wins.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Leone waiting on it. Swing and a miss. Same thing he got Bradley on. 1-2.
Yeah, this time it wasn't 3-1. Perfectly thrown. He started. It appears it's going to be in the strike zone, and then just straight down. Matt Wieters, nice block.
It's only the 4th time that Brock has been on all season before the 7th. First time since June 1st. 1-2 delivery. Tantalizing. 2-2. That's how Brock has progressed in the eyes of Buck Showalter, the pitching coaches, as to his importance and ability to get it done. Two delivery. Leone, little ground ball. Davis off. Throws it away. Ortiz scores. Betts will score. Hill.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Moves over to third, and Leone goes to second.
Yeah, not as good as Chris Davis, you cannot throw a ball from that distance that hard. Obviously, he felt that's the only way to do it, but he throws a P. You never work on that in spring training. Again, he has to get to it. He comes very quickly. Had a lot more time than he really does, and then a BB, and again, really kind of down by the thighs. Really would have had to really have good hands to catch it. Not only does it go by him, obviously 2-run score for the Sox.
A 2-run error charged on Chris Davis.
And Brad Brock wasn't happy. I mean, again, you come in, it's a tough play. Kind of threw the ball into the dugout once it was out of play, and Dave Wallace out there just to settle him down because the 3rd and 4th runs are out at 3rd base and 2nd base.
Red Sox take the 2-1 lead. 3rd error in the ball game on the Orioles. Now this is a big at bat here. That's why Dave Wallace is out. The ball to charge with those 2 runs, but they will be unearned because the inning should be over. Benintendi up. He has struck out twice. There are 2 in scoring position. This is a major out for the Orioles to get right here. Benintendi to right field. That ball headed to the wall, and goodbye home run. The very next pitch is a 3 RBI homer and a 5-1 Boston lead.
Well, the Red Sox are happy, and they should be. Their number 1 draft choice right out of University of Arkansas lights up Brad Brock and gets a big hug from Big Papi. That's why Dave Wallace went out there. I mean, what a tough inning. Perfect pitch to Hill. You don't get an out on a ground ball right in front of the pitcher, between the catcher, and then right there inside middle. What a quick bat. And right onto the flag court.
And here's the guy who he is being compared to. Benintendi, say he's 5'10", he's about 5'8", 180 pounds. And Dustin Pedroia.
We just got taller.
Yeah, he did get taller on that one. Well, what an inning to take advantage of the error. That'll be taken outside. The 8th Red Sox to hit here in the 6th innings. Pedroia, who is 0 for 3. So Benintendi delivers the long ball. That's his first home run against the Orioles in this his first season. The ball to Jimenez, leaving the ball game charged with 2 of them unearned. Machado's throw will be there in time to record the out. But the Red Sox, who came in with nothing on the board, now have 5, and they lead it 5-1. And brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you, and by visitannapolis.org. Create your moment at visitannapolis.org. 8 batters up in the 6th, 5 runs, all unearned. Benintendi taking advantage of the opportunity with the extended inning on the air, picking up the 3 RBI homer. And the Red Sox take a 5-1 lead in a tumultuous inning.
Yeah, it's been a series of multi-run home runs by the Red Sox.
So now the Orioles again, as they've had to do in the first 2 games, asked to battle back as we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Buchholz with the couple of walks, 3 strikeouts, 1 run on 3 hits off him.
Yeah, in and out of trouble, but great job of playing dodgeball tonight.
Yep. Chris Davis will lead it off. He's drawn a walk and he has struck out Trumbo and Alvarez. Buchholz delivery and outside corner for a strike. Garibaldo 5 1/3, a couple of unearned runs on 4 hits. He walked 3 and he struck out 8. 0-1 the count. And that pitch will be taken down low. So Chris Davis trying to get it going again here. Oliver Drake in the bullpen. Houston beat Oakland today. That's another ball club that keeps hanging around.
They're very much in it.
They're a game and a half at the moment out of a wild card spot. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way. Davis after it, center field. Jackie Bradley Jr. back.
Yeah, when he goes into the trot, you know it's in the park.
Yep. Again, the deepest part. Regular season here at the ballpark comes to a close Sunday. The Orioles host the D-backs 1:35. All fans get the Maryland flag Orioles cap presented by DAP. Hope you show your state pride and come out and celebrate with the Birds. Another big series. And the kids 14 and under run the bases as they have after all Sunday home games. Orioles.com for tickets. Mike Trumbo an 0 for 2. He has grounded out, flied out, 1 for 10, a double in the first 3 games of the series. Breaking ball will be in there for a strike.
Yeah, you make a great point about Houston. When we went down there the 3rd week of May, they were already they had a slow start this year, contrary to what last year was about. They said, you know what, we can come back because that's what Texas did last year. And they've kind of crawled their way back into it.
Yeah. 0-1 delivery on the way. In the air again, left center. Yeah. Bradley.
What does he glide?
He's there in no time at all. 2 down here in the 6th inning. This is what Buchholz wants. This is that get rid of him in a hurry after your team has put you on the board and given you a lead. And he's got 2 away here in the 6th.
Well, he's gotten key outs. You know, after the Orioles load the bases in the 3rd, Adam Jones hits a sacrifice fly. Kim the ground out and the pop up by Manny. So there are 2. So again, you don't get the big inning. And meanwhile, he, you know, for the best offensive club in baseball, he's saying, "Hey guys, we're hanging around. Do your thing." And of course, they wouldn't have done their thing if the Orioles played a little bit better defensively.
Which has, of course, as those fans know, been a strong point for the ball club all the last 4 years in particular. 0-1 count, 2 down. Pedro Alvarez popped out, struck out, and is about to ground out. Pedroia's got it. 6 pitches, 3 outs. A 1-2-3 6th inning, 5-1 Boston. With time running out, Tigers' Ian Kinsler out, concussion. He's got to be cleared by MLB before he can get back. Big loss. The Rockies defeated the Cardinals 11-1 today. Ariendo 2 for 3, home run, 39 of them, 4 RBIs, 2 runs. Colorado's Murphy 1 for 3 with a 3-run homer, his 5th. The Astros beat the A's 6-5. Gaddis for Houston, the 2 for 4. He's got 30 home runs, 2 of them today. And McHugh 5 2/3, 3 runs, 6 hits for Houston as they are in it. The Cardinals they had 3 teams in the National League title for the wild card starting today. The Cardinals were one of them, so they're now back a game.
Yeah, and how about their home record? The Cardinals have the 2nd most attendance of any team, only the Dodgers more, but they're 33-41 at home, but on the road, entirely different team. Like 13 games over 500.
It's always had a great home record.
Yeah, that's just a
place.
Mike Matheny's going, whoa. Yeah. Maybe we'll get hot at home.
Here's Xander Bogaerts, and a swing and a miss as the Orioles go to the pen.
Yeah, so Oliver Drake, fastball splitter guy, great, 12 strikeouts per 9 innings down at AAA Norfolk. He's pitched well here. As he says, I've discovered if I throw strike 1, a lot easier to use my splitter, and it gets me into the count much quicker. And there's another one.
7th inning with the Red Sox, 5 runs, all in that last inning. They've had 6 hits in the ball game, no errors. That's a big line. They've left 5. The Orioles 1, 3, and 3. They've left 5, and all 5 runs are unearned for Boston. Sac fly, 3rd inning. Adam Jones, only run the Orioles have picked up. And the pitch will be taken down low for a ball. Xander Bogaerts. It's the Orioles this season. Picked up 11 RBIs. He's had a hit 13 straight games here in this ballpark. He has not continued that tonight. A walk and a couple of strikeouts for him, and he'll foul that one off. The only player with a longer streak here at the ballpark is former Oriole Nelson Cruz. Second longest streak, Nelson Cruz, 14 game hitting streak here. He's not going to get a chance to extend it this year, obviously. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Pitch will miss away, maybe a little bit low. Count goes to 2-2. Brock went 2/3 of an inning. 3 runs, none earned on 2 hits, 1 strikeout. 7th home run surrendered this year on Benintendi's homer. 7th off Brad. Short hopped. JJ's throw. Strong and gets him. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. David Ortiz, a base hit, a walk, a run scored, and he has struck out.
Yeah, all those numbers, and at age 40, this is the last year. I was kind of thinking yesterday when Earl Weaver announced in '82 that he's going to retire, we caught the Brewers and played the last day of the year, and he had a meeting, and Richie Dower, our second baseman, said, "Oh no, don't tell us you're not going to retire." I think the pitchers in the American League are thinking the same thing. David, don't change your mind. You know, whatever you want to do.
He was saying the other day, he said, if I had to do it again, I would not have made the announcement at the beginning of the year. He says, I appreciate what's been done, but he says it's taken so much time and energy. It obviously hasn't affected his play very much. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way. The Orioles still have not made any announcement about whether they are going to do anything or what it is they're going to do, with tomorrow being perhaps the last time he plays here, barring a postseason game here. We keep going to the phone that he broke with a bat. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery, and he went around on that one.
Wow, nicely done. Thinking, hey, he might throw me a splitter, and boy, just a high rider. Can't hold up.
2 down, nobody on in the 7th. Ortiz out of there. He doesn't break any phones. And that will bring up Mookie Betts. 8-game hit streak, 2 for 2 and a walk. Wow.
Yeah, 3 hits last night. Average just zooming.
Another great series for him. He's had 6 hits, 9 at bats, home run, 2 RBIs in this series. And of course, on the year now, hitting over 400 against the Orioles. 9 home runs, 21 RBIs. There's been a major story. Grounded down to third base. Manny Machado on the hop. And we'll get him. Good inning. Drake comes on. Retires the side in order. Our Honda do-ups. Scope, Waiters, and Hardy when we come back after the 7th inning stretch. Up with Chris Tillman on the mound against David Price. Our coverage on MASN 6:30 O's Extra presented by Southwest. Game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on MASN.
Yeah, nice little matchup. Tillman going for his 17th, as is Price. Price has won his last 7 decision. Kind of what he did for Toronto when he got traded last year. Totally healthy. Great matchup.
7th inning for the starter Clay Buchholz. Jonathan Scope has had 2 singles, 2 of the Orioles' 3 hits. The other one, the Jones base hit. Wieters and Hardy will follow here in the bottom of the 7th inning. High and foul, and an 0-2 count from Buchholz. He's walked 2 and struck out 3. Ziegler, Ramirez, a couple of right-handed.
Yeah, I saw Ziegler last night. Ramirez when the Orioles were up in Boston. Actually, Scope hit a home run off him.
Orioles have lost 15 of their last 25 at home. That big home field advantage has fallen away a bit. Here's the 0-2 delivery, and Jonathan chasing one away.
Yeah, Buchholz, I mean, he's got a feel for pitching. So when he's able to get ahead, not behind, which has been the case most of the night, this is what he can do. I mean, it's a curveball, starts on the plate, perfectly thrown. Young hitter. Good breaking ball hitter, Jonathan Scope, but not that type of breaking ball.
Now Wieters an 0 for 2, fielder's choice, and he is flied out. That is now 6 for 36 off Clay Buchholz. 1 down, nobody on. Schiff is on in the infield. The runs, the 5 unearned runs that came in the 6th inning, second most by the Orioles in unearned runs that they've allowed this year. They gave up 6 in a ball game back in May at Cleveland. 5 in this game. 0-1 count. Wieters had a pitch away. 1 ball, 1 strike count. One ball, 1 strike delivery. One of the ironies about those 2 games in Cleveland, the 6 unearned runs came on 2 pitches. Here on 2 pitches. In this one in the 6th inning. And in Cleveland, that's what happens. You leave a door open at the major league level, especially this time of year, and the likelihood is, because the Orioles have done it to other teams, that they're going to jump on it.
And also, you only had 1 run on the board.
Yeah.
And so the room and the margin for error is pretty much 0. But I saw actually, the ball in front of the mound. I mean, there were really 2 plays in that inning that allowed the Red Sox to get extra outs.
3-1. They changed positions in the infield on that, and of course it will go to Hill. Hill just moved over there and took Bogart's place, and the ground ball goes to him. So it's a 5-3. Most popular way to follow the Orioles postseason push, MLB.com at bat. #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. MLB.com at bat. Your favorite devices now. 2 down, nobody on. J.J. Hardy a walk, and he is grounded out. Buchholz coming in with a strike on him. Buchholz this year 7 innings against the White Sox. May 4, his longest outing. And if he gets another out here, he'll have 7 innings in this one. 0-1 pitch. Bradley. He's got it, and indeed he does. He retires the side in order. That's 8 in a row set down by Clay Buchholz. Red Sox on top. The Yankees stranded 20, losing to the Red Sox 13-7, setting a record for players left on in a 9-inning game. And in 1910 in Atlanta, Mobile and Atlanta went after a world time record for a 9-inning game. They played it in 32 minutes. Mobile won it 2-1. The teams agreed everybody would run on and off the field as quickly as they could, that they would swing at first pitches. There was 1 walk and 4 stolen bases in the game. That was 1910. Can you imagine that? An agreement to try and set the Guinness Book of World Records.
That sounds like we used to go all the way over to in Fort Myers from Miami. to play the Royals, and that's what they would do because they want to go play golf, and then the season would start, and they wouldn't be swinging the first pitches. Everything changed. Of course, you knew that. You're not going to set me up. No, no, no.
Here's Travis Shaw as we go to the 8th. Shaw is single and he is struck out. Oliver Drake a 1-2-3 inning in the 7th. Drake will foul that off the other way. Shift on against him in the infield.
Yeah, from Worcester. I don't know how they get that, but it's kind of like Gloucester.
Worcester?
Well, I mean, it's spelled like
oh yeah, Worcester, but yeah.
Or Worcester.
Yes.
Or whatever, but it's Gloucester.
The home of Holy Cross and Bob Cousy.
Really?
Yes. 0-2 delivery on the way, and the pitch is taken up and away.
Used to play in all those American airline golf tournaments where they'd have different athletes for different sports. Cousy would go. You'd meet Sam Jones. Bill Russell would be running around cackling somewhere. Of course, if you grew up in my era, I mean, the Celtics were pretty good.
That's my ball club.
Yeah.
Many's the night I went to bed at 6 to get up at 11 because they were going to play the Los Angeles Lakers on the West Coast. Took Johnny Most downstairs, turned on the TV, listened on the radio. Jerry West drives. Oh, Russell blocked that. That was Johnny Most. If you were a Celtic fan, you loved him, and if you weren't, you could not stand him. The other way, where they were not playing him down the line, and it is a foul ball.
Well, that's one of Shaw's strengths that he does, especially in Fenway. Able to go the other way. A little splitter that stayed up. Kim had a beat on it, but wouldn't have caught it. Ball kept drifting away. I mean, I guess the infamous, the old garden. I talked to John Havlicek once. He said, "Yeah, we knew exactly where to dribble the ball because the wood was so old, and then it was about by the time you played them, as we look at Inichi Tozawa, it was about 100 degrees in there."
Well, that's because Red turned the heat up.
Yeah,
especially in the visiting locker room. It was about 120. Red Auerbach had the heat turned up in the Garden. Ball put up in the air to right field, not deep. Trumbo's coming on for it. Shaw is retired. One away here in the 8th inning.
And then what? He'd light the cigar when the
inside.
Yeah, but I mean
on the bench
when the game
he felt as though the Celtics had won, he lit up a cigar. I had the pleasure of working with Bob. I did some Celtic games for the stations in Boston along the way, and Bob was doing color with Tommy Heinsohn. Tommy had some time off, so they asked me if I'd do games with Bob. What a treat that was. What a wonderful human being. Pitch on the way is outside for a ball. Hill with a base hit has reached on an error, and he has grounded out. Ball game has settled down to a quiet murmur with a 5-1 Red Sox lead. No one feels worse about that than Chris on the error, throwing error at first. Pitch taken inside, and the count goes to 2-0.
Well, this guy right here, again, you got Ziegler, we saw him. You got Tozawa, who is pitching well, giving him more time between starts, but just a little roller by Hill set up that inning, right in front of the mound.
Pitch will be up.
A little miscommunication. Brad Brock looked like he would have been an easy play. Matt Wieters, by the time he got it, Hill hustling his way down. Bang, bang.
That's why you run them out.
Yeah.
Always, always. You just don't know what might happen in any ball game. It may be a turning point. 3-0 count from Oliver Drake on Hill with Jackie Bradley Jr. waiting on deck. And that is in there.
Yeah, I mentioned I ran into Aaron Hill, and I was going through the Diamondback press guide. He actually started the year with the Diamondbacks, and he said, "Yeah, I thought they'd be a little bit better." He said, "But this club," he said, "I have seen things over the last 2 months coming over here. They are playing at an unbelievably high level." Talking about the Red Sox.
Ground ball to third. Worm eater picked up by Manning.
Yeah, busy night.
2 away here in the 8th inning. The Red Sox have a major league best 13-5 in the month of September that they're looking to add to here tonight. Buck Showalter on his way out. That'll be it for Drake as he faces 5 and retires 5. 2 down, nobody on. Jackie Bradley Jr. coming up.
Well, it seems like every other day a chance to come in. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup pitcher. Numbers coming down. Bone chip surgery. A couple of chips in the elbow. So again, the numbers inflated and limited at bats. And you could see fly ball guy 70% of the time.
So he'll work here in the 8th inning with 2 down, nobody on, to Jackie Bradley Jr., who has drawn a walk, struck out, and popped out. Maybe his last chance to extend his hit streak, which at the moment is at 5 games. Bradley, 250 off the lefties, 287 off right-handers this year.
Well, what a May with the 28-game hitting streak for Jackie Bradley Jr.
First ball hitting, Manny Machado. Reaching, and he got it, and he gets a little help. Leaning in, going over the railing, and once he'd made the catch, they weren't going to let him fall in. Dustin Pedroia, I believe, down there at the other end, reaches over and says, no, we don't want you getting hurt. Good play by Manny.
Fourth time in what, 5 starts. Pitches very well. Only the really the 1 run. And again, a lot of strikes, 95 pitches, in and out of trouble early on. They get him 5 runs. He leaves with a 5-run lead. Brad Ziegler, acquired from the Diamondbacks, again dominates righties. And again, a guy that has been a closer in his career. You can see 21 out of 27. Even though they have Craig Kimbrell, who's closed his last 20. He's got 27 of them this year. So a lot of experience in that bullpen. And Ziegler's certainly one of them. You can see dominates righties. And he's got the sidearm underhand delivery.
Now Ziegler ready to go. Let's take a look at our PNC Inside the Numbers with the O's box score.
And again, some opportunities early on, and only the sacrifice fly by Adam Jones. The Orioles trying to, again, coming in, 2 runs the last 4 games. That was the maximum in each one of them, trying to maybe get on the board here in the 8th and 9th, make it a close game.
So Adam will stand in. RBI, sac fly, a single, and he has struck out in the 3-game set. He's had a couple of hits and 10 at bats, 2 RBIs. And the pitch will be taken inside. So Buchholz will watch, looking for his 8th win. And his first win against the Orioles this year, 0-2.
Came in the 2 outs in the 7th to get Adam out last night on a fly ball to center. And a slider down and away. Take the walk. Got to be taken here. You get on base. There is no need to swing. And that's what he does. Forces him to throw a strike.
They're going to keep the bullpen active here. Kelly, Scott. We may see 2 or 3 more pitches run in here. 2-ball, 1-strike count on Adam.
Again, their bullpen has been superb in September.
Breaking ball grounded to Dustin Pedroia. Jones is retired. What away bottom half of the 8th inning.
Yeah, ERA of under 1 run a game.
During the 6-game win streak, .87 for this bullpen. Who would believe they were so worried about that 2 months ago?
Yeah.
The bullpen was an issue.
Well, the guys got healthy. You know, Uehara, Kimbrough had the knee surgery. Joe Kelly, minor leagues, they brought him up as a reliever, throwing 97 to 100.
That one ripped into right field, but right at him. Betts there, he's got it.
And then Zazawa, you know, struggles early on, shoulder fatigue, backed him off. So they just, you know, and then they got a couple of young. We saw Barnes last night throwing, what, 95 to 97. I mean, they just have a lot of power arms. And even Robbie Scott, independent league guy, played for Jose Canseco for the Yuma Scorpions. He's been able to help them as a left-handed reliever.
8th inning, 2 down, nobody on. Manny Machado 0 for 3. He is 0 for 9 in the series. Ziegler 2 down, nobody on. Sidearms that one in, and it will miss outside. Manny's 1 for 2 off this Boston right-hander. 5-6-0 over the Red Sox. 1-3-3 for the Orioles. The unearned runs, all 5 of them for the Red Sox. As John Farrell's team trying to put another of the magic numbers up on the board. Down to 3rd and foul. Boston's magic number for the division would be 6 if they win this game to win the division. And for the Orioles, their elimination number from the division would be 7. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way, and wow, what a changeup. Orioles are retired in order. That's 11 in a row set down by Buchholz and Ziegler. On Masson, brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Gary Thornton, Jim Palmer with you as the Red Sox try and make it 3 in a row against the Orioles with the 5-1 lead. Last time the Red Sox swept a 4-game series here in Baltimore was 2002. Now they got to win this one to have a chance to do that, but they got a 5-1 lead, and the Orioles have had 11 in a row set down. Red Sox will bat, top of the 9th inning. Leone will lead it off. Benintendi and then Dustin Pedroia are due up. Leone, a big play in the 6th inning, reaching on the error on the chopper out in front of the plate. And went to first, and throw went wild. 2 runs scored. Very next pitch, Benintendi hits the 3 RBI homer. There he is. That one in the air to left center field. Jones coming over, called off. Kim goes there and puts it away. Leone retired. And our drive of the game brought to you by Lexus of Towson.
Yeah, really it is. I mean, just a 3-run. I mean, shocker. Brad Brock really pitches well. He makes the pitches to get out of the inning. The Orioles don't play well defensively, and then out of nowhere, the dreaded 3-run home run.
Got his first home run at Detroit. Our drive of the game brought to you by Lexus of Towson, the area's #1 luxury dealer. Come see why at LexusofTowson.com. The Baldo. Jimenez went 5 1/3, 2 runs not earned, 4 hits. Brock 2/3 of an inning, 3 runs none earned, 2 hits. Oliver Drake an inning and 2/3, 1 strikeout, the rest zeros. And Brian Dunsing. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Benintendi on a sweeping breaking ball that couldn't recover on. 1-2. Scott ready to come on. The Orioles have Mike Wright up. One-two delivery. Looped. Machado. 2 down. Visit MASSonSports.com. Care First to vote for tonight's Care First Fearless Player of the Game. Live fearless with a name trusted for over 75 years. Care First. Blue Cross Blue Shield. This is what happens with the expanded roster.
Well, yeah, you know, and I guess you're trying to save guys for the other night, so you're making the changes.
Yahoo.
All year long as a starter, did not have a good year down at AAA. Of course, pitched very well. Back 42 and 26, low ERA, 3.71. But again, better out of the bullpen here. Power pitcher, a little breaking ball, change up, 2 fastballs, sinker, and the 4-seamer. So he comes in.
Mike Wright will work with 2 down, nobody on, and it'll be against Dustin Pedroia.
And they have Donnie Harper up with the bullpen in case it gets to Ortiz. And there he is.
Pedroia's had an 0 for 4. Couple of hits, 9 at bats in the 3 games. And will take the pitch for a strike. Pedroia, .310 hitter here at Camden Yards for his career. Everything over 300 against the Orioles this year, lifetime, and here in this ballpark. On the year now at .323. And a ground ball to short. J.J. Hardy's got it. And will save us from any more relief pitchers. Pedroia's retired a 1-2-3 inning. The Orioles 3 outs to work with. Of this 4-game set, and they will go to the bullpen.
Yeah, so Robbie Scott, not a hard thrower. I mean, quite a story. Independent ball out of Florida State. Did not get drafted. Was pitching for the Yuma Scorpions. Guess who his manager was? Jose Canseco. Actually said he enjoyed playing for him. So he goes out there, pitches the first inning, strikes out the side, goes out to pitch the second inning. Jose comes out. He goes, wait a minute. You have just been signed by the Red Sox. Took him out of the ball game. The rest is history as he's worked his way up through the minor leagues and become a left-handed specialist. So the Yuma Scorpions. Next thing you know, you're pitching for the Red Sox in a pennant race.
Florida State University, where he pitched his college ball. Scott got a win, his 3rd career MLB appearance. First win Sunday. That came against New York. Couple of innings work. Made his debut on the 2nd of this month with Pawtucket, 4-3 with a good 2.54 ERA.
Yeah, and almost a strikeout per inning.
So the Orioles bat in the bottom of the 9th inning. Chris Davis. He has struck out, flied out, and drawn a walk in the game. 27-year-old Robbie Scott. With the infield shifted. Pitch on the way, a winding delivery in there for a strike.
That reminds you a little bit of Donnie Hart, doesn't it? He kind of steps at you, drops his arm angle. Again, neither of them are very hard throwers, but be very impressive, very effective because of the deception. And then fastball corner. There's the 86.
Red Sox win here, and they will guarantee themselves their first season series win against the Orioles in 5 years. They'll also go 7-2 here going into tomorrow's game. Davis, a strikeout victim, 12 in a row retired.
Yeah, one batter. I mean, perfect pitch. Started on the plate, tried to hit the outside corner or a little bit off, and there's that deceptive arm angle. Big sweeper.
One down. Mark Trumbo is grounded out, flied to center twice. Mark 1 for 11 in this series. Chopper up the middle, knocked down, but no play. Infield hit. So Trumbo is on with a 1-out single here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Bogarts had no chance to get up and throw.
Well, he tells you his range, though. I mean, he's playing kind of straight away. Alvarez was out to hit and is going to get called back. With the lefty versus lefty. We're thinking
Mancini will come on.
There you go. Trey Mancini.
Mancini, major league debut in the ball game last night. Of course, second time to the plate.
Yeah, did he ever? Bet he was looking in, got one first base hit off of Eduardo Rodriguez, and I mean blasted it. So again, and then the curtain call. So as Mancini comes to the plate, John Farrell. Once they announced him, he'll go to the closer. Not messing around here.
So Kimbrough will come on to do the pitching. He'll be the 3rd out of the bullpen for Boston. place to pass by when leaving the ballpark tonight. Extra onions, please.
Yeah, Earl Weaver overlooking, so you know it'll be good. Anyway, fastballs at 95 to 90, well, almost 100. Great breaking ball for Craig Kimbrell. 4 young players traded in the offseason to acquire him from San Diego. And then you start again, I mean, this is this year. You count up, 225 saves coming into the season. So they got at age 28 one of the better closers in baseball. They went out and got David Price, one of the best starters. So again, a lot of offseason upgrades, and certainly Kimbrell one of them.
It's not a save situation because a potential tying run is neither on base, at the plate, or in the on-deck circle. But Farrell doesn't want to fool around with it.
Well, the ERA, I mean, it's 0.90 when it's a save situation, and then it goes all the way over 5 runs when it's not. Now, but this is September.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll see.
So Trey Mancini will pinch hit for Pedro Alvarez. Alvarez had an 0 for 3 in the ball game, and Mancini will get his first chance at pinch hitting in the majors.
Yeah, and he's not going to waste any time. Saw something straight. I mean, the breaking ball, when you combine them, are unbelievably. And like I said last night, when you have 2 pitches that are equally as good, when do you decide to throw them?
0-1 delivery. And the pitch outside. Mancini in his career, 5 minor league teams, 483 minor league games that he went through, and always hit for power. 306 average, real good average along with the power numbers. 54 minor league home runs. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way, and that'll be up high and away.
Yeah, you just talked to the scouts, and they said over the last 2 years, shorter swing, pretty good eye at the plate. So obviously, he can work the counts, right center, left center. And then we saw last night he hit the ball a long way.
2 ball, 1 strike count to him. Trey Mancini, runner at first is Trumbo. In the air to right field, right at Betts.
So you get an idea right there. I mean, that's a quality at bat. Doesn't get anything to show for it. But that's what the scouts were talking about. I mean, that's 96, and he hits it very firm, but right at Betts and right.
2 down here in the 9th inning. So the Orioles, barring a major comeback here, are going to lose the first 3 of this 4-game set. 2 runs in each of the first 2, and so far just 1 here in the 3rd game. They're going to be held to under 10 hits for 11 consecutive games, and you got to go back to 2014, the last time that happened to the Orioles. Ground ball down to 3rd. Big hop. Hill will go over to first base. Scope is retired, and that's the game. The Red Sox win it. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Buchholz the winner. He is now 8-10. Ubaldo Jimenez will take the loss, 7-12. Boston's got 88 wins. The Orioles 82. There's your final, 5-1. 4-game set will wrap up tomorrow. Chris Tillman against David Price. Our coverage on MASN, 6:30 goes extra, presented by Southwest. Our game coverage at 7. This has been a MASN presentation. Tom and Rick goes extra coming up right now. 1 very big inning, the 6th. They'll tell you all about it. For Jim Palmer and all of our crew, I'm Gary Thorne. Thanks, everybody. From Camden Yards, adieu.